should be good. Oh, not that. We are not good. We are not good. Give me a sec. Snowbreak. I forgot to check. I'm my bad. Yep, we're good. Anyway, hey everybody, it's me, Madame, your favorite 50% femboy, 50% genius, indie VTuber, also known as C9X. So, welcome back to more Snowbreak Containment Zone. Last time we... Yeah, I guess we were like half done with Reflection of Valor. Now we can pick things back up. I expect to reach at least Progress 9, maybe Progress 10, then maybe the files. We'll see what happens. I have more time to stream today than usual, but it also depends on if I have the energy. So let's get started. As always, grab a snack or a drink, ideally water, because that's what's best for you. Check your posture, hope you enjoy the stream. Yeah. Okay, let's just get into it. Sisyphus, the mortal king who dared deceive the gods. His punishment is... Blah, you already can't speak. Every time. His punishment was eternal, to heave a boulder up the mountain, only to watch it tumble back each time it neared the summit. No rest, no mercy, no end. Some parts are still unclear, like that Delos fusion Esther mentioned. She was probably referring to that monstrous form Rosen just revealed. But it's enough information for now. That fusion must require an enormous amount of Tenogen. 2 fusions, Esther's Tenogen reserves to power 1. Roseanne's, though likely greater, would still only sustain 1. They came either to kill me or to use me against Sisyphus, who must be Roseanne's Delos.
資料で見たの。ロザンってずっと前に神格の抑制ができたんだよね。しかも完全に神格を制御できる唯一の試乗者だとか。
Delos research, the Demiurges are ahead of Yggdrasil, and in Tenogen Mastery, Roseanne stands unmatched. Maybe that's how she plans to push her combat strength even further, by showing that much Tenogen, amplifying her power. But at the cost of control over her Delos. I don't know the exact mechanism, but it's the most plausible explanation. Looking back on every clash with Roseanne, her Master of Tenogen kept shattering my expectations. Thanks to her, my own combat power had soared within a day, and even now, I was testing the techniques I had learned, feeling the rhythm flow through me. Alright, that's enough to go on. From what we've just learned, Roseanne will likely hunt Titans first, restore her Titan reserves. Time's against us. When she recovers, she'll come straight for us. We split up here like I said. I'll hold Roseanne off. Let's go. Mashiru, if things go south, you make the call. Mashiru nodded, walked past Bubu, lifted Esther, and headed for the door. Bubu hesitated, glancing my way. Yeah, time you stood on your own feet. There was room in her eyes, or maybe it was insecurity. Don't worry about me. Finish the mission, then fall back. What comes next isn't a fight meant for you or Mashiru. She gathered herself and met my gaze, unwavering. Alright, there's drops on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch. If you're not on Twitch, then, you know, if you need the drops, go watch on Twitch. If you don't, you can stay. Any eligible channel will work. I believe you need to watch for up to an hour and a half to get all the rewards, but, you know, I prefer you watch me, of course. With that, she spun and ran after Mashi. Don't worry about me. Once the Titans are cleared, I'm confident I can get Roseanne down. Even with all the intel we've gathered, I still couldn't be sure I could bring Roseanne down. I left the room and followed Bubu and Mashiru at a distance, watching over them from the shadows until they left the sanatorium. Well, nothing left to hold me back now. I steadied my breathing and ran through everything I knew, searching for a way to win. Evening settled in, and twilight deepened into the west. On the road to Northwind Aerospace Center, Mashiru and Bubu ran in silence, one leading, one trailing. Bubu quickened her pace to run beside her. Mashiru glanced over, giving a slight nod for her to speak. Also, should Bubu be the one in front? Because she has the dualies, and Mashiru has a sniper. But I guess Mashiru does have the better recon stuff, so I don't know.
てっきり本当に撤退するかって思って。
But it didn't answer, Bubu muttered to herself and said.
今は目の前に集中しよう。
Then on, they ran in silence for Northwind Aerospace Center.
少佐、誰かが来ました。
見張っておけ。
That's probably a Bubu Masudu. How the fuck do you speak her name? Li Qiuxue? Through her binoculars, spotting two figures sprinting down the road.
ヘイムダル部隊の覚醒者だ。ゲートを開けろ。警戒を緩めるな。追っ手がついているかもしれない。
Once later, Masudu and Bubu dashed through the gate of the aerospace center.
少佐殿、前に行方不明になったコヨーテのリーダーを捕まえました。一旦預かっておいてくれませんか？
もちろん。お二人ともこっちへ。ここでは落ち着いて話せないからな。
Basically, why does she not have any protective gear? She's like, no, like, the most protective gear is that, but like, I mean, I guess you could use a sidestepping stance. Like, you know, in that case, why isn't there like a plate here? And like on the forearms as well? Like, there's no spot to put on a trauma plate. Maybe on the back, but not on the front for sure. Li Qixue signaled a few soldiers to secure the unconscious Esther and take her away, then turned and headed inside. Like, it makes sense for manifestations because they need the mobility and stuff. But whatever. Bubu and Master followed her to a reinforced door deep inside the complex. I guess they're not expecting to go against like projectiles and more just like regular changed. The Zero operated by the rotary valve. Once they passed through, Li Qixue locked it tight. Also, why are you using her full name instead of like I don't know, like Commander Lee or something? The lights dimmed, the machinery rumbled to life. Green light blinked on the far wall. A hidden door stood open, and Bubu followed Masuda and Li Qixue inside.
喋っていい？
ああ、もちろんだ。ここは御社と合同開発したブラックチャンバー。タイタン物質濃度の低い環境でしか使えないようになっている。
But he said black chamber.
今や通信局なら必ずついているのだ。複数の通信局の間でタイタン物質を隔絶できる素材で優先通信を行うことで物理的にエッダの傍受を防ぐという寸法だ。主な機能は汚染エリア内の情報共有を保証するためだがな。優先通信は維持コストが高いため、今では2つの場所を1本の回線でつなぐ場合が多い。どっちかが汚染エリアの外にあれば問題はない。
Li Qixue switched on the comms channel.
そして、ここが唯一の例外だ。ユグドラシルと北風宇宙センターをつなぐ唯一の回線。
I feel like they should already know this, but like they're only explaining to the players.
こちらカロリー。リー少佐、分析員と2人の隊員から連絡がありましたか
2人は隣にいる。直接話を聞くといい。
カロリン、こちらマーシル。そっちの状況は？分析員は？ボス？
タウです。マーシル、現状報告を。
前に更新した直後にまたロザンに遭遇してしまった。分析員が私とブブを北風宇宙センターに来させたのはあなたに連絡するため、広域タイタン殲滅用爆弾の使用許可が欲しいと言っていた。
カロリン、軍に連絡してきてください。
はい。
分析員は使い道について何と？
療養センター一帯には今100体以上のヒーラ級タイタンが降臨している。宇宙センターがやられる前に広域タイタン殲滅用爆弾を搭載したミサイルでそれを全滅させるって。分析員の見立てではロザンの力はタイタン物質あってこそのものらしい。それからロザンはすでに上昇の対抗策を分かってるみたい。
いえ、 エロ社にはデンドロンがありません。100体以上のタイタンを降臨させるために中継媒体として大量のタイタン物質が必要となります。これについて分析員は知っていますか？
それはわからない。彼には何も言われてないから。
彼がそういうくらいなら、おそらく彼には爆弾の被害を受けない確信があるのでしょう。タイタンを全滅させればエッタは無力化される。そうなれば彼はロザンの対処に専念できます。東部戦線の戦況はかなり厳しくなってきています。軍の死傷者が増え続け、リフとカーシアも休まずに連戦を続けています。とはいえ私の方にも予備隊がほぼ残っていません。イエロ社、アルスター、ニューテリトリーの辺境にもタイタンの攻勢が始まっています。どうやらエッタは何としても宇宙センターを破壊しようとしているようです。それはさておき、二人とも無事ですか？
うん、まだ戦える。
Peter turned to look at Boo Boo. Boo Boo, Heimdall operatives had always seemed like ordinary girls. Mashiru, for instance, was a quiet girl who had acted cuter when talking with the adjutant. But right now, the way Mashiru looked at her froze her blood. Cold, unshakable, a silent warning to play along. On the other end of the call was the commander who led the entire company. The decision was intimidating. But a voice in her heart stirred her.
私も先輩も元気だよ。
On the line, Town drew a slow, rubby breath.
マーシル、あなたがそう決めたのならいいでしょう。
ありがとう。ボス、軍から許可が出ました。ただ、世論はこちら側でコントロールするって条件付きで。
構いません。さて、増援は3時間後に到着します。マーシル、あなたのしたいようにしてください。
All ended, the console went dark. The room plunged into silence and absolute darkness.
広域タイタン殲滅爆弾を手配しよ
The rotary valve door opened, and the three stepped out. The Chushria stepped out briefly and returned with a small case in hand.
う。ナビゲートビーコンだ。これを使えばタイタン物質の放射妨害がある環境でも爆弾はビーコンが設置された場所に正確に命中する。発射は20分後、着弾は発射から10秒以内。よろしく頼んだ。
Ashura took the beacon and gave Lee Chushria a silent nod. Lee Chushria looked like she was about to speak, then thought better of it. She straightened, then offered Mashida a formal salute. Mashida didn't look back, she simply walked on. Followed, they didn't stop until they passed through the main gate of the airspace center.
さっきはありがとう。ここからはついてきてもいいし、帰ってってもいいよ。帰らない。私も行く。死ぬかもよ。私平気だから。肩が震えてるのに。
Ashura broke into her sprint, Ubu fell behind her.
これは武者払いなの。怖いとか全然ないから。
Peter ignored her.
この後はビーコンを設置しに行く。そうだよね。ねえってば。ビーコンの設置が終わったら分析員を助けに行くんだよね。その2つの違いがわかると思ってたけど、まあいい。
Peter shook her head and fell silent. Ran on, one ahead, one behind. You could hear her own heartbeat, her breath.
タイタンが見えるまでまだ時間がある。ついてくるかどうか真剣に考えてから決めて。
She drew a sharp breath, sprinted ahead, and cut Masuya off.
分かってるの。自分はまだまだ未熟 って。でもマーシェル先輩はすごい人ってのもわかる。先輩がいなかったら私なんかとっくにロザンに殺されてるかもしれない。だから先輩になんて言われても甘んじて受け入れるつもりだったの。だけどそうやって私を見くびるのはやめて。私はただみんなみたいに出ないだけで、自分がどう動いたらどうなるか知らなくって。でも私だって人間なんだよ。私だって彼が好きで彼を助けたくて事態をなんとかしたい。
In Japanese, she added a line before saying that she likes the adjutant, saying that she's still human or something.
思いつきで死のうとするほどこの部分はバカじゃないの。任務に命を懸けるにはちゃんとした覚悟がいるって、そう言いたいんだよね。言わなくたってわかるよ。
His chest heaved, her breath ragged.
違うよ。あなたのプロフィールを読んだことがあるの。地下洞窟で負傷した時、救助を諦めるよう会社にメッセージを送ったでしょ。
What if baiting is like the Snowbreak version of Beijing?
その時の気持ちはまだ覚えてる。どんな覚悟でそう決めたの？今もあの時と同じような覚悟はある。彼に私たちが必要かどうかは誰にもわからない。助けに行けば運よく彼を助けられるかもしれないし、行ったところで何もできずに足を引っ張ってしまう可能性もある。結果がどうあれ、最初にそう決めた時の覚悟のままでいられるの。ヘイムダルは家族、私たちは分析員の恋人であり家族でもある。おせっかいに聞こえるかもしれないけど、先輩と呼んでもらってる以上、あなたに忠告をする義務が私にある。
In Japanese, instead of saying we're all girls he loves, Mashiro said we're all her lovers, his lovers.
生きることと死ぬことの間には境界線などない。残酷なことだけど、じっくり想像して受け入れなくちゃならない。覚悟はその残酷さを受け入れてこそ固くなる。私は自分が死んだら分析員がどれだけ悲しむかよくわかっている。それでも彼のためにこの命を使いたい。じゃあ私にも言わせて。私だって同じなの。行く。死んだって構わない。どうなっても絶対に行く。彼に恨まれてもいいの。彼を悲しませることになっても私は行くの。彼のいない人生なんていらない。分析員に救われたこの命、彼のために使うなら本望だよ。あなたの覚悟はよくわかった。あなたのことを誤解してた。ごめん。責任として確かめなきゃいけなかったから。時間はない。急ごう。
Mashiro brushed past her and broke into a run. A sting pricked Ebu's nose. Hold on. She paused, tilting her head back toward the dusky sky. So many words caught in her throat. It hurt. She almost cried. She stamped her foot and ran to catch up. Inside the sanatorium, Rosen and I had been locked in a brutal stalemate for some time. Reten's fusion with her Deimos was her answer to the death knell, but it burned through Taijin fast, limiting how often she could use it. We saw it in the last encounter. After draining her own reserves, Rosen had to draw Taijin from Esther just to trigger the fusion. So I played on that gap, bluffed her, seized the initiative, and kept her pinned down. pushed her farther and farther from the Titans on purpose, but I knew it wouldn't last, or, well, sooner or later, she'd realize I was bluffing. I threw another punch, and this time, she finally tapped into her Titan, beating it head on.
気が済んだかな。あの二人はどこへ行った？
Caught her follow-up punch with my offhand, like stags locking animals. She drove into me with both arms. I barely kept my footing, forced back step by step into the corner. I knocked her hand aside, but her grip locked tight around my arm. We went down together. She kept off the fall, trying to roll on top of me. I followed the motion and rolled through, came out on top. Her Rosa clamped her legs around my waist, stopping them out cold. Before I could throw a blow, she lunged. Her chest slammed into my shoulder, her right arm snaking around my neck. If she locked it in, my throat would snap. No time to think. I bridged hard, arced back with her momentum, and stamped her head back into the floor. As her legs loosened from the impact, I slipped out and put distance between us. She realized there was no point in hoarding Taijin for another fusion for Deimos. Meanwhile, I'd grown proficient with Taijin in both attack and defense. She still had the edge in speed, but I wasn't as easy to overpower as that morning. At this point, only grappling could break through each other's defenses. When clean position, and it'd be over in a heartbeat. But there was no need to stall it here. When the rocket hit, when the Titans were gone and Edda was off the board, that's when we'd end this. But I couldn't let her slip away either. I couldn't afford to give her an opening. We traded blows until our Taijin ran low, then, by unspoken agreement, we broke off, each of us hunting Titans to resupply. There's still a huge cache of Taijin probably on the ground, and a stash. If the rocket failed to wipe it out, this fight could drag on far longer. If I could stall her until support got here. But that wasn't something I could count on. I stood over a fallen Titan, drawing in Taijin, weighing my options. In moments, Titan's form vanished. Rosa's control over Taijin was far more refined than mine, the result of deliberate, focused training. That wasn't something I could match in a day. But in raw absorption speed, she couldn't beat me, not taken in two trees. The tree was like a vessel barely holding itself together. Once it cracked, the Titan inside burst out like a river breaking through ice. The pain was unforgettable, and it undeniably triggering my body's capacity to absorb Taijin. In sheer replenishment speed, I'd outpace Rosalind. There's still a chance. I pulled away from the Titan pack, scanning again, looking for another opening. In the basement, Sophie waited for the Titans to finish gathering. She hummed softly, and the Titans moved at her command. Suddenly, Edda's hologram flickered into view before her. Sophie instinctively bowed her head.
出発して。ええ。二人の覚醒者が建物に入ってきたよ。気づかなかったの？いや、気づいてるんでしょ？身体能力なら、あの二人より今の君の方がずっと強いんだから。つまり、私に何をお望みでしょうか？覚醒者の一人が、長所ってものを持ってる。それが欲しいの。
Wave, Edda summoned a holographic image of Masuda in the death net.
それを持ってきたら、君の知りたいこと、ちょっと教えてあげてもいいかな。
Edda remained silent, head still bowed. Edda tilted her head, studying her. The one passed before Sophie finally looked up, but Edda was already gone. Press 8. The move got uneasy. The uncertainty of going off script didn't thrill her. It suffocated her. It scared her. She was afraid of failing. But a moment ago, she couldn't hold back the storm in her chest, watching Master speak to Tao, calm and precise. The two of them in perfect sync, hardly needing words at all. I'll honor your decision. Do what you believe you must. Tao probably knew, but I need some water. Fucking hell. Man, I can't wait to have money to get my teeth fixed so I can speak properly. Tal probably knew Machido was lying. The difference was, they always seemed to know exactly where their choices would lead.
そっか。
Suddenly, she understood why she lost control just now. Because her desire burned too strong, and she was still too weak to match it.
でも私だって
She'd always been the one pushing herself the hardest. Everyone made it look so easy, accomplishing impossible missions as if they were nothing. She felt out of place, just like a field agent bumped up by luck. By talent, the Adjutant. She didn't have what the other manifestations had, no gifts, no brilliance. So she never allowed herself to slack. Every spare moment was spent proving she deserved her place. And still, it felt like she blew it, leaving the Adjutant behind to cover her while she ran like a coward. Was it because she hadn't followed orders to the letter? The discouragement was crushing, but the heat rose from the same place, as she remembered why she'd started down this road at all.
素敵
That fragile courage was enough to steady her, at least for now. She looked up and realized they'd reached the outer edge of the sanatorium. Titan still poured out, wave after wave, through a breach in the battered wall. Ashida halted, crouched, and tapped at her wrist console.
何をしてるの
ビーコンの設置地点を計算してる。できた。陣屋で設置地点に着くまでタイタンたちから私たちを隠すことはできる。
カモフラージュしていくってこと？設置地点はどこにあるの？
A figure raised her hand, and the console projected a 3D map of the terrain below. All available drop sites for the beacon lit up, every single one dead in the middle of the Titan's sword.
それは無理かも。陣屋のカモフラージュは光の屈折を変える目くらましみたいなものだから、これだけタイタンが集まった場所じゃ、いくら完璧なカモフラージュでも敵全員の目は欺けないよ。あった。
Yelped up, scanning the Titans around them. They lumbered outward, slow and aware of the two girls nearby.
できるかも。
The circular ray detached from Ruby's back and locked into place above them.
タイタンの視線は上から来るものだから、私たちが体勢を十分低くしていれば。
Nope, it doesn't make sense. Does not. The angles don't work. Because even you have to, like, even if they're all above them, like their eye level, there's still like multiple directions.
ただ効果は単体の敵に使う時ほど完璧じゃないの。例えるなら、ちょっとだけバレにくい迷彩服みたいな感じかな。
It would work if they're just like using the texture of the ground and like putting it up.
でも、
Yeah, that would be the
ゆっ
camouflage.
くり歩いたらいけると思うよ。急にタイタンがうつむいたりしなければ。
And also, like, shouldn't they like tie their hair down and like all the you know the parts that can move with the wind?
時間はまだある。ゆっくり行こう。
Because like if their clothes sway that much, then they could go out of range of the circular array. They moved together as if under a single umbrella, crouched low, inching toward the heart of the pattern. People focused on controlling the circular array. It was going so smoothly that her nerves finally had room to panic. The Titan legs gloomed all around. She dared not to say anything. She glanced down at the mirrored surface before her. Mirrored surface before her. Mirrored surface before her. Glancing down. What? You mean like the... Is it trying to say that the floor is reflective? Whatever. The specular ray scanned the ground behind it, projecting the feet across its many weird panels around them to keep them concealed. One glance and the blood in her veins turned to ice.
マーシル、バレちゃった。
The Titans turned toward them at once. A jolt ran through Ruby, her scalp prickling, her skin turning cold.
ぼーっとしてないで走って。
Ashura shoved her hard. Ruby snapped too, withdrew the specular ray and bolted after her.
早く。
Ashura darted ahead, aiming for a loose spot in the land of Titans. But the moment she moved, they shifted, the gap snapping shut like a net drawing close. The Titans even crouched low, blocking any path beneath their legs, but they didn't attack. just kept shifting, tightening the formation, closing every escape.
誰かに操られてる。ソフィー。
Who had reached the same conclusion just as the soft tongue began to rise. Through a breach in the sanatorium wall, Sophie emerged, walking calmly beneath the Titan's legs. Was her rifle suppressed? I don't think it's suppressed. Because usually there's no point in suppressing a sniper rifle. A gunshot cracked beside Boo Boo, mastered to raise her sniper rifle and fired the instant Sophie appeared. It says bam bam, but she only fired one round, and then cocked the bolt. Mastery didn't let up. At over 100 meters, her first round blew apart a Titan's massive hand, shooting Sophie. The next few shots cut off every line of retreat. But before she emptied a mag, she stopped. Boo Boo already had both SMGs up, watching their six, but the Titan just stood there, motionless, like spectators in an arena.
建物に駆け込んで分析員と合流しよう。
待って。前段かわされてる。何か変だ。
A low warning whine crackled through the sensors to top Mashiru's head.
おかしい。身体能力が午前会った時よりも格段に強くなってる。彼女の力はもう私たちをずっと上回っている。
なら近接戦で行く。この二丁マシンガンは飾りじゃないんだから。
あなたたちを傷つけたくありません。
Even from over 100 meters away, her voice reached them like a whisper in your ears.
嘲笑を渡していただければ何もいたしません。
Balance fell. Every Titan froze. Eyes fixed on Mashiru and Boo Boo.
ブブ。はい。一回だけ突破を試みてみよう。失敗したら逃げて嘲笑で援護するから。
どうせなら一緒に行こう。先輩を見捨てるなんてできるわけないじゃない。
手分けして逃げればまだチャンスがある。一緒じゃ絶対に逃げられない。
Well, at least one of them were planning to sacrifice themselves.
戦闘特化のあなたの装備と違って私のは偵察に特化したもの。それにここから逃げるには嘲笑が鍵となる。私が嘲笑でソフィーとタイタンを引きつけて突破口を作るから。その間に療養センターに入って地形の狭いあそこならタイタンも簡単に追いつけないはず。
先輩は最初からそのつもりだったんだよね。
Spiru didn't answer.
相手は強い。あまり勝算はない。突破に成功したら分析員を探して彼が来るまでちゃんと持ちこたえるから。
私
Sharp wave of humiliation would hit Boo Boo, or maybe it was just a hate of feeling weak, helpless. She didn't belong on a battlefield like this. The Titans zoomed in silence, as if mocking her uselessness, but she couldn't change a thing. When she was with the Adjutant, she could hide it, keeping him from worrying, but now, she didn't even have that excuse. Running again, leaving someone else to cover a retreat. First the Adjutant, and then now Masyu. And again, she could do nothing.
ぼーっとしてないで。
Got Boo Boo a glance over her shoulder.
そう簡単にできることだと思わないで。信じてって分析員に言ったよね。ロザンの目を盗んで分析員を見つけて彼と一緒に私を助けに来てもらうのできる？
Drew in a deep breath.
できる。
じゃあ頑張って。
With that, Mashiru surged toward the breach like a lucid arrow. The death knell spun to life in her hands, colorless waves flaring through the amber dusk. Boo stumbled through the door, gasping for air. Just as Master planned, with the death knell holding Titans at bay, Boo made into the sanatorium. Her mind was blank. Where was the adjutant? Where was Roseanne? She hadn't thought that far.
またこの気持ち
Tell me, what else could I trust with that?
なるほどわかったブブ分析員の期待に絶対に応えるぞ立派な覚醒者に立派なヘイムダル隊員になるために私は頑張ってるんだもん私
Raised her hands to her face, a sob escaped before she could hold it in.
私じゃなければここにいるのが私じゃなくて先輩たちなら
Things surface in her mind. When you've given it all, that's when talent shows.
こんなんじゃダメ
Wiped her tears with the back of her hand. Now wasn't the time for self-pity. She knew that, but the moment no one was watching, her frustration spilled out.
分析員ロザン
He drew a steadying breath and scanned her surroundings. Mashiro wasn't wrong. Finding the adjutant while staying out of Roseanne's sight wouldn't be an easy job.
そうだ
Pulled out the specular ray, 18 drones in total. At her command, the drones split and scattered, multiplying into 72 smaller units. Fully deployed, the specular ray formed 72 panels, each demanding direct manifestation control. From the day she received the exosuit, Lulu had trained without pause. It demanded razor focus and a memory like steel. At first, she could barely handle a handful of them. Drones fled in midair, failed to link up, or took ages to sync. But she kept at it. In time, she was able to command all 18 at once. Now, all 72 drones fan out around her. A few still clipped one another, but together they gave her a sight around corners, down hallways more than 10 meters away. It was a brutal test of focus, managing a sweep with some drones while tracking dozens of live feeds from every angle.
私にはできるちょっと難しいけどできないわけでもない
Hearing footsteps echoed down the empty hall. Then had already clashed one-on-one with the adjutant 4 times. Clash, drain, retreat, again. The cycle seemed pointless, but it was really a battle of endurance. Rosa was patient. The adjutant hounded her. Afraid she might slip away, in truth, she feared the same, that he might be first. She'd come partly out of curiosity for Sophie's abilities, but mostly to kill the adjutant. For now, something else still held his attention. Edda. Right, this ends her chest. It surprised her more than she cared to admit. She'd come to end him with something close to mourning, but he kept rewriting that script. More than once, he'd pushed her to the edge of true mortal peril, and she hadn't minded that at all. She'd always taken pleasure in a good fight. By now, the fusion of her cells with Taijin had reached a new tier. And with that power, the long-suppressed Deus within her, Sisyphus, began to stir. Each time she invoked fusion, Sisyphus threatened to seize control. She could master the fusion only by defeating and destroying Sisyphus. It was a long war, but only she could twist to her advantage. If she could beat Sisyphus while they were fused, she could end it for good. Beyond that lay a new stage of evolution, being freed from the weakness of flesh, in full command of her own form. Once the adjutant fell, Yakuza would collapse, and the new world she envisioned would finally have room to rise. She drained another titan for intelligence, flexed her fists, and walked into the sanitary. Fighting and killing her craft, brain-shaped complex, reminded her of an ancient gladiator arena. The perfect place to face the adjutant to death. The thought pleased her. But someone's raffle shattered what she had in mind. Pulse from the deafening rippled through the air. After taking so many blows, her body had grown sensitive enough to feel its vibrations even without the sound.
近くにいるはずだ
He turned, gazing through the walls toward where the device had flared. The area where the attendants had gathered. Then she turned to another direction, to the spot where she and the adjutant had split up after the last clash. They pulled back in opposite directions, which meant he wouldn't sense a disturbance coming from the Titan's location. It only sharpened her suspicion. From what she could see, his odds were next to none. Yet he was clearly waiting for something. Since she'd been forced to use her fusion in front of him, she'd already used that knowledge at once to ambush her. The two manifestations of the death knell must have left the sanatorium. She left openings through her duels, yet they never appeared. She thought she had fucking hell. She thought she had his game figured out, and the mission those two manifestations were on. But now, that certainty wavered. It didn't match the Adjutant style, but she wasn't about to gamble on that. She decided it was in a trap, not for her anyway. And she sensed another disturbance. Manifestation with twin SMGs bursting into the sanatorium, unaware of her presence. The complex was so quiet she could hear the girl sobbing. She attempted to strike at once, kill the girl, and the Adjutant would certainly let an opening slip. The last time she'd gone after the girl, the Adjutant had seen it coming. The Roseanne swung wide, moving fast and sought to cut the girl off ahead. No sign of the Adjutant on her map. Then she made her call. This hunt would be quick, clean, ruthless. Just as the girl's floating specular ray rounded the corner, Roseanne made her move. With a speeding chariot, she lunged, closing the 10 meters between them before the girl could even react. True to her nickname, the little geomancer ducked under the strike and bolted the way Roseanne had come, as if she'd foreseen the ambush. Miss, she pivoted to chase, but the girl swerved past her by inches. The girl was stupid. Oh, fucking hell. The girl was slippery as an eel in this maze of space, even with her body reinforced by intelligence. Putting her down quickly was nearly impossible. Time worked against Roseanne. This was an opportunity she couldn't afford to miss. Intelligence surged through her. She had to kill the girl before the Adjutant noticed. Close in strike, but the girl twisted away a heartbeat before the impact. She closed in again, only for her target to dodge down a hallway. Re-aim, intercept. The girl skimmed along the rubble at the corner and slipped around the wall. I have a feeling that the specular array is projecting an image of Boo Boo, and like the actual Boo Boo is somewhere else. Roseanne blasted through the wall. The rising dust gave the girl a moment to widen the gap. Again and again, just as Roseanne was about to catch it, the girl darted off like a hare. Her stamina made the difference. Her dodges grew clumsy, her footing unsteady. She was reaching her limit. Finally, they reached the theater. The exit was in clear sight. The target hadn't made it out. She was probably hiding under the seats, catching her breath. An idea stuck Roseanne. The manifestations had one constant. It was their habit of risking their lives for the one man they cared about. They stepped onto the stage, eyes sweeping the empty seats.
無様だな、分析。命拾いするために守ってきたものさえ諦めてしまうのかい？部下を身代わりにしてまで生きながらえようとするとは。
She turned her back to the exit, retreating slowly as her eyes left the hall. She knew the line was clumsy, but it didn't matter. The stakes were too high for the girl to risk it. 1 second. 2. And a third, the girl who fought so hard to flee stepped out from behind the curtains across the stage. Boss fight? I think it's just a regular fight. The fight is called Run. Not too much of a fight if you ask me. Okay, let's who do we rank? Let me see. Asian manga. I don't have comments, do I? I don't, okay. Let me just awfully quiet for a Snowbreak stream. Okay, let's go. Also, just remember that Snowbreak is actually on a UE4. I missed! probably activated it too early.
流行越境分析員の役に立てて嬉しいよ。準備よし。この汚れ目シャドウドライブ。逃がさない。食らえ。早くもっと早く。この汚れ目。
Well, I fell in the water again. Didn't Luke actually fall in? I thought there would be like an invisible wall.
いつべからずだよ。超不詳細だね。諸悪滅上滅。食らえ。分析員劇場ならもうちょっと時間を稼げるはず。
So this is before the end of that story.
食らえ。楽勝だったね。準備よし。この汚れ目流行越境シャドウドライブ。部は大丈夫だから集中して。分析員部の活動不詳細だね。食らえ。食らえ。今なら秘訣充実。やる気満々だよ。
And I think the next is either progress and then a boss fight.
分析ここにいたんだね。
Activator chase began, this time from a Pace's perspective. The spectral array she used for scouting had split into two formations, one decoy, one hidden. Yep, I knew it. The decoy stayed visible, while the hidden ones hugged the floor, rear side up, blending perfectly into its surroundings. When Roseanne burst around the corner, the hidden panels caught her. Thinking fast, Boo slipped past the incoming charge, using Roseanne's own momentum to widen the gap. It's like how deer would run towards their predators because the predator would need to like decelerate and then accelerate to catch them. But it doesn't work for cars because, you know, cars are much wider. She darted through the sanatorium without even a second to draw her weapon. With Roseanne on her heels, only sharp swerves and tempo shifts could keep her alive. Run like hell. Time seemed to drag. Her body felt like it was coming apart. Manifestation power surged through every fiber, forcing her muscles and heart to run at full capacity. Her geotropic nerves flared like needles under her skin, the unmistakable sting of exhaustion. She had no sense of how long she'd been running. Roseanne's voice rose and fell behind her like a tide. She only knew one thing: she couldn't stop. All those multitasking drills with the spectral array had finally paid off. Just barely, she managed to juggle it all, mapping her escape route, twisting obstacles to her favor, gauging speed and distance all at once. Body and mind were at edge, only willpower held her together. She wasn't running for her life anymore, at least not her own. The others' lives depended on her too. That belief kept her moving. Her lungs burned, her limbs were numb from her fingertips to thighs. Her skin tingled. Her vision blurred at the edges. She burst into a pitch-dark space, wide and hollow, a theater. She ducked behind this curtain and clamped a hand over her mouth. forcing her breath to stay silent. Muscles felt ready to ignite, to shrink with heat and strain. Sweat poured off her. The heat made her dizzy. She fought to quiet every breath, forcing her heartbeat to slow. Darkness crept into her vision from lack of air. Then suddenly, the stage lights flared to life. The footsteps stopped. She stilled every reflex, forcing herself to be still. I'm sorry it's kind of quiet. I can turn it back up, but I don't want like a gunshot to like make ourselves go deaf or have tinnitus. I mean, I do have tinnitus, but you know.
命拾い。
部下を身代わりにしてまで生きながらえようとするとは。
部下、それって私のこと？
Okay, no idea what happened with the adjutant since Roseanne summoned an ambush. She didn't think nothing but run. No time to think.
分析員が危ないみたい。どうしよう。
Let's start it up again and give her receding.
でも、もし今の話が私をおびき出すための嘘だったら、でも、もし本当にそうだったら。
But it was true now, stepping out meant death. Facing an enemy she couldn't possibly defeat. But this was the one thing she couldn't take a chance on. If the adjutant really needed just a sliver of time to shift the odds, she'd give it, with her life, if she had to. Besides, deep down, this is what she wanted all along. To stand, not hide. To fight, not flee. To protect, not be shielded or saved. That was her idea of what it meant to be a true Heimdall operative. She rose and stepped out from behind a curtain.
そこで止まって！ロザン、相手は私だよ！
The strongest foe she had ever faced, or could even imagine. Even the adjutant couldn't get the upper hand on Rosa, and when Boo twice had the opening at point-blank range, she had still failed to land a killing blow. But none of that mattered anymore.
おや？逃げないのかい？自分の命で彼のために時間を稼ぐ気？安心しな。彼なら後であんたの元に送ってやるから。
ごちゃごちゃうるさい！かかってくるがいい！あんたなんか怖くない！
Wits tore free, and rush followed, like chains snapping and a river breaking loose. She broke air as all 72 specular rage runs burst outward. Her theotropic nerves flared under the strain, letting her seize control of every drone and blankets the air. She braked her guns and fired at the lights. Darkness swallowed the hall. A flicker of movement near the exit, a crouched figure inching toward escape.
見損なったもんだ。
It's a fake. She then strode the exit and brought her hand down, only to hit air. The palm cut straight through the boo-boo, and the figure vanished on contact. Behind her, Boo-boo's SMGs roared, breaking Roseanne's back with fire. Roseanne snarled, spun, and clawed at nothing again. It had to be some kind of illusion, she thought, a decar projection. But the bullets were real. The shots had to be coming from where the girl really was. As if the girl reached the same conclusion herself, gunfire echoed from every direction. Here and there came a faint whisper of air, with drones weaving through the dark. I'm thinking, how is she masking it? Because aside from the sound, there's also muzzle flares. You can hide it with like a flash hider, but you can't hide the chamber's spark itself, especially if you are like being pointed at. And also there's also like heat of the air warming up. Even if she was using a suppressor or a flash hider, the muzzle attachment does get warm and eventually go hot and red. Like we don't fully know how Boo Boo's pulling it off, so I'll let it slide. Rounds found flesh now and then. Rosa kept her guard over her vitals, advancing into every burst of gunfire, closing off the girl's space bit by bit. Then it came, a direct click from straight ahead, the sound of an empty gun. The signal Roseanne had been waiting for. I mean, you have to remember, Bubui has 2 SMGs, not 1. With shattering impact, Roseanne finally struck home. Something clattered to the floor, metal, not flesh. Even now, she hadn't landed a true blow on the girl herself. The girl got to her feet again, gritting her teeth. Roseanne loomed, cutting off every escape route.
いい度胸だ。分析員のもとにいるだけあるね。前の2回は確かに、あとちょっとであんたに殺されるところだった。ただ、そのあとちょっとは、あんたが思ってるほど簡単な話じゃない。死ぬ前に名前を言いな、小娘。あんたの頑張りに免じて覚えてやる。
Used a specular ray to bend light, leaving illusions through the darkened theater. The decoy's 5 scrambled Roseanne's head on her true position so she could slip rear shots through. But what if even bullets couldn't hurt her? With nowhere left to dodge, she barely managed to deflect the blow with the specular ray. But the force that broke through hurled her into the wall. She steadied herself and pushed back to her feet. In the gloom, she saw the warped bullets forced out of Roseanne's wound by sheer muscle, clattering to the floor.
いい度胸だ。分析員のもとにいるだけあるね。前の2回は確かに、あとちょっとであんたに殺されるところだった。ただ、そのあとちょっとは、あんたが思ってるほど簡単な話じゃない。死ぬ前に名前を言いな、小娘。あんたの頑張りに免じて覚えてやる。
You no idea how to beat this foe, but that didn't matter anymore.
心に銘じなさい。あんたの前にいるのはヘイムダルの正式隊員ブブだ。
There's no room left for retreat, no way left to win. She dropped her SMGs, clenched her fists, and fixed her eyes on the monster before her. Sometimes she thought that hard work pays off as a lie. She never knew what it truly meant to be Heimdall operative, and now, no amount of effort could give her even a chance of defeating Roseanne. But as she shouted her name, without regret, she finally understood. Every wrong she'd endured, every frustration, every single failure and drop of sweat, it had all been worth it. No one knew better how much she longed for this moment, or how long she waited for it to come. Meeting Roseanne's strike head-on, she drew on every ounce of strength she had and threw a full-force punch. And an unbeatable ending. A death. You heard a roar. Furious, urgent, rushing close. In the instant of impact, she saw Roseanne get blown away. The consciousness finally gave way, sinking into darkness. I'm guessing it's us to the rescue. Bubu, Akiro! Ne Akiro! I cradled Bubu in my arms. I made it just in time, but she and Roseanne had already traded heavy blows. She was drenched in sweat and clearly in bad shape.
分析員。私まだ生きてる。
No, close, but you're not. Yokata. Her gunfire came as fast as I could. Why did you come back? Where's Mashiru?
マシル先輩が助けに行かないと。先輩はまだ外で爆弾を誘導するためのビーコンを設置しに行ったらソフィーとタイタンに包囲されて、そしたら分析員を探してこいって私がここへ突入するのを援護して。
And then you ran into Roseanne. You moved?
私
You tried to move, but couldn't even lift her hands. I'll carry you. I lifted her onto my back. She was light, but limp. Her arms hung loosely over my chest.
あそこタイタンの包囲網の隙の。
Are we not concerned about Roseanne? Roseanne is the... Roseanne got hit by us once, but she's still alive, I'm sure.
ソフィーの実力は私たちよりも強いって先輩が言ってた。分析員、もし間に合わなかったら。
We can. I ran through the rubble with her on my back, clutching her arms to keep her from falling. She was too weak to hold on herself. Boo boo. You did great. You're silent for a moment on my back.
分析員が無事でよかった。
Hmm?
ロザンが分析員が危ないって嘘を言うから、分析員のためにロザンの目を引きつけなきゃって思って。私ってバカだよね。
You're not stupid, you just care too much. You did great. You held out long enough for me to reach you. You must have drained Roseanne, otherwise she wouldn't have tried to bolt the moment she saw me. Oh, she ran. Okay.
なんだか嬉しい。私ちゃんと一人前になれたのかな。
With what?
一人前のヘイムダル隊員。
Why is weird, Boo? The one that brought you into Heimdall, ready everyone it was.
コネで入ったんじゃなかったんだ。
Of course not. Why did you think that?
って私平凡だし、覚醒者になれたのもタウさんと分析員のおかげというか、たまたま運が良かっただけというか、ずっと思ってたの。ヘイムダルに入れたのは本当にブブがブブだからなのかなって。本当はあの洞窟で助けに来ないでって信号を送った時はすっごく怖かったんだ。あんなに必死になって頑張ってきたのも、ヘイムダル隊員という言葉には自分が見合わないって思うからで。
I know. I've known it all along. You've always been the one who worked the hardest. I saw it all. Don't die. I'm listening.
頑張った。ここまで頑張ってきて、やっともうヘトヘトだ。聞いてるよ。
Your voice made me proud. Boo went quiet again. You sucked into my shoulder.
分析員、ブブ、期待に応えられたよね。ロザンなんて怖くないし、誰一人諦めたくなかった。分析員、体が痛いよ。
I know. The sobs came first, then loud, ragged weeping, until she could barely breathe. I knew all she needed now was a shoulder to cry on. Reaching breaths faded, spent from the fight with Rezan, she drifted off. Reaching the sanatorium wall came into view just ahead. Titans stood and rang, then I caught the faint hum of the death knell. We'll make it. I reached her high on my back and sprinted. A few minutes earlier, I was at the sanatorium. The resonance of the death knell finally faded, and Booba slipped through the breach in the wall. It's only a few minutes ago. Okay. One by one, the Titans stirred back to life. Sevi stepped out from behind the defensive line.
分析員さんは私を見逃してくれました。だから、あなたたちのことを傷つけたくありません。それを渡してくれれば、逃がして差し上げましょう。
She said nothing. She turned and ran. Titans advanced in perfect unison. The ground split beneath them, throwing Masaru off balance. The melody rose once more. Sophie saw that she would not yield, and held back no longer. Masaru drew her sidearm and charged straight into the Titan's oncoming fist. She had a sidearm? She leaped back just in time, letting the strike smash into the ground, then folded up its arm toward the floor. It's a sidearm using a magazine that ran out after 2 shots. I don't think she's ever pulled out her sidearm before. 2 shots. And it's not a revolver. It's not a shotgun. I mean, some people do use a shotgun as a sidearm, like a sawed-off. So really, it's like a... No, it's a magazine, so it's not a... It's not like a 725. Anyway, the Titan toppled, just as several others brought their palms crashing down on its fallen ball. He jumped off the Titan in time, but not before a blow grazed her arm. Titans had never been this precise, nor this willing to strike one of their own. Masaru found herself surrounded by 5 or 6 of them, their blows converging from all sides. Putting through the strain of the death knell's toll, Masaru stood past the frozen Titans and broke free. But a searing pain nearly robbed her of her consciousness. Ever since that first clash with Rosa, where she had pushed her limits and activated Death Knell more times than she should have, she had begun to feel pain again. Each use since then had only made it sharper. But she never told the Adjutant about it. It was only pain, nothing she couldn't endure. She remembered the quick thrum of his heartbeat while she lay in his arms before they parted, when he said he was confident he could take Rosa down. She knew it was a lie, so she told one of her own. The moment she felt that faltering heartbeat, she decided she would come back. The Titans at the perimeter kept shifting their positions, the ring expanding, tightening, reshaping with her every move.
もうおしまいかな。でも最後まで守り通さなきゃ。
Drew the death knell, its fine gears turning in slow perfect rhythm beneath the transparent shell. To her, it was a gift from the Adjutant, an item more precious than anything else.
これはあなたがくれたものだから、あなたを傷つけてしまうものだから、誰にも奪わせない。
Valor dragged on. Titans closed in as one, and Masaru's movements grew ragged, her chances dimming by the second. He glanced down at her wrist console, 60 seconds until the launch. It slowed to a stop, her eyes fixed on the Titans closing in. Sometimes she wondered how her life would end. When she understood how things would play out, she made up her mind.
私に渡してください。最後のチャンスです。
Lee's voice came from somewhere. Masaru let out a dry snort, not even sparing her a glance. Her heart pounded, manifestation energy surged into her hands. The Titan's ring tightened once more, power surged, gears whirling faster, until the death knell sang its final note. And once again, pain ripped through her. The rocket was seconds away from launch. The Titans nearest her still staggered under the death knell's effect. But those beyond its reach were already closing in on Sophie.
これでいい。
The death knell's effect faded. Every inch of her skin, every muscle, every organ screamed with pain. Drained, she sank to her knees and waited for the end to come. To her, death had always been something beyond a thin film of water. Weightless, voiceless, just out of reach. Because she had never felt pain, death had always seemed ordinary to her. Simple, almost mundane. She thought facing it would be easy, just a matter of choice. But now she could feel pain, and with it, fear, surfacing from that film of water to stare back at her, cold and silent. This must be fate's final offering to her. She had no choice but to take it. The gravel biting into her knees, her wounds twitching in reflex. He gazed dazedly into the setting sun.
ねえ、分析員。あなたのこと
this was one of the summer events we had actually, played through, surprisingly. どうでもいいよ。
分析分析分析ねえ分析
In haze, the searing sun over the sea from her memory pierced through her heart. A flash of heat welled in her eyes, slid down her cheek, and fell onto the back of her hand. Suddenly, as if seizing something unseen, she sprang to her feet and ran. An unnamed impulse surged through her. She held the beacon as far as she could and bolted for the nearest cover her visor sense could find. Run, just run. The vault looked like a warehouse, downward, deeper, anywhere she might survive. When her mind cleared, she found herself in the basement.
もっと下へ
But there was nowhere left to run. This was as deep as it went. Countdown hit 0, the rocket launched. She didn't stop to wonder why she'd done all this. She looked against the wall, trying to hold it onto every happy moment she could remember. Once with the Adjutant, the first time they met, today she told him the story she'd been writing. The first kiss, the first hug, the first night. The first time she truly understood him, and felt understood by him. Looked down at the wound on her wrist. Fucking hell. Wrist? What is this cute uwu fanboy pronunciation? No. She looked down at the wound on her wrist. Jesus Christ. Lifting her arm tugged at the nerves, making her muscle twitch involuntarily. Analgesia isn't simply the absence of pain or the fear that comes with it. It's a loss of sense, like blindness or deafness. A gap in how one perceives the world. Unable to feel pain, she feared the sight of wounds more than most. To her, each was a silent brush against the veil between life and death. Now, staring at the wound in her arm, the honest pain felt almost like comfort. That was when she understood what had driven her to hide. The desire to live. She wanted to tell him herself that her analgesia was gone, and he no longer had to pity her. She wanted to tell him the sunset over Yellow Island had been beautiful. Shit. And she longed to see it once more. She wanted to tell him she loved him, that in the moment pain returned, she was reborn. And it was the first truth she wanted him to know. There was so much she wanted to tell him. She could have talked for days, no, for a lifetime. If only he were there to listen. She wanted to see him once more, for a moment. She wondered if he would come to save her. But in the end, she only hoped he would finish his mission safely. She felt no regret, only the ache of never seeing him again, and of everything ending fucking out, and of everything ending this way. She heard the scream of rocket drawing near. So she closed her eyes. The basement door burst open, and a flood of light pouring over her. There you are, Machiru. I dove through the doorway, throwing myself over Machiru and Bubu to shield them from the blast. The blast thundered behind us. The annihilation charges were made to neutralize Tenjin, so I couldn't use my ability to shield against them. I missed the sentence. I had to bear it with flesh and bone. Blood welled up, a metallic tang rising in my throat. The firestorm roared past the basement door. Beyond it, the chain detonations kept thundering. At last, the blast faded. I stepped out of the basement. Before me, the fields of sunflowers were burning as if a heavenly fire had descended. Amid the raging inferno, a towering, terrifyingly beautiful figure turned to face me.
お前がロザンの言う分析員か。シシュフォスだ。お前の命をもらいに来た。
Did I mention that she looked like a citrine with the abdomen area? Well, you know what time it is. To be a hero. Yo, this is like a AOT the final chapter until that happened. Really, the place is called Sea of Flames?
ここまで追い詰められる。ローザ、私にこやつを葬らせろ。そしてお前もな。
分析員、私も戦わせて。ブブ、大丈夫だから。一緒にこいつを倒そう。
私ももう一回調子を使えるから指示をちょうだい。
干渉入居。有効液
抵抗など無駄だ。
諸悪滅上。滅。
運命から逃れろ。
I don't think I could dodge that.
砕け散る。
くらえ。災いを吹く。
肉体ごときに縛られるものか。
I don't know what happened. I don't know if we like sealed her. Did we like absorb the Titan off of her? Like what happened? Whatever. That doesn't matter. On the brink, I forced every last ounce of strength to draw Titan from Sisyphus. Waves of it surged through me, relentless, crushing. I was pushed past my limits, yet the flow from her body felt endless. Yeah. I forced myself to focus, gathering Titan and shaping it at the cellular level, forcing my body to make room for more. At last, I could no longer sustain the pull. My grip on the monster's throat slipped away. Most of Sisyphus's massive form had already been drawn into me. What remained was a tattered shell, and within it, a woman crawled upon herself. Lay down. Collapsed to the ground, eyes fluttering open as she stretched, then absorbed the rest of Sisyphus's shattered mass into herself. Heartbeat later, violet lines crawled across her face. Her muscles surged, her frame swelling. The same monstrous form, now refined, no longer unwieldy. Then the outer shell folded inward, her body reformed into its former shape. Save for the faint traces of Titan etched between her her brows. With a flick of her fist, a chain of sonic booms tore through the air.
やっぱり
She turned her gaze toward me and gave a nod.
分析。あんたを選んで正解だったよ。
Right, because Rosa did mention that she was supposed to kill Sisyphus or something. Or like defeat it while they refused, and we did just that, I assume. Forced myself upright, suppressing the violent clash between Teijin and my own selves. Then I turned to check on Nashun and Boo. During the battle, Mustard had triggered Death Knell once more. Boo had spent every last round from her guns, and Sisyphus has shattered her specular array. They were finished, their strength completely drained. Rosa now stood eye to eye with me, the presence called of danger. The lines of her muscles shimmered with intelligence. To me, she was no longer human. So this is a full fusion with her Deimos.
そうさ。これこそがあんたが拒んだもの。残念だがもうあんたに与えはしない。あんたと私は同類だ。選ばれし者だもの。こうも早く私に追いつくとは。 いやはや感心した。だが結局私の方が一歩早かったみたいだ。残念だけどね。
You guided me in silence, something her gaze fell off. Distant. Alien. My voice is completely dead, holy fuck. Holy fuck. Okay, my voice is good now. Fusion, are you Roseanne or Sisyphus? Or both?
そうだね。失念していたよ。ずっと神格融合を完璧に制御できずにいた。大量のタイタン物質を取り込んでしまえば、シシュフォスの意識に乗っ取られてしまう。そこで思いついたのは、彼を倒せるかもしれないあんただ。そしてロケット打ち上げを止めるために、エッダは必ずここに十二分のタイタン物質を用意すると見た。あんたとシシュフォスのどっちかがここで死ぬというのが計画だったが、先ほどあいつが弱っている隙についやってしまってね。私に起きた変化から見るに、私の一部も殺されてしまったんだろう。今の私はロザンでありシシュフォスだ。
Why bother telling me all this?
単に残念だからさ。
Voice is still dying.
あんたのことは気に入っていた。だがあんたは私と全く違う道を選んでしまった。
I think you won.
あんたにわかるまい。完全に制御された神格融合の強さは、タイタン物質の正しい使い方を身につけたあんたは、正直に言うと私よりも才能があったのかもしれない。けれど平等に進むのが時間だ。
The diffusion is just a matter of fusing Titan at a cellular level.
そう見えるだけさ。神格神経のないあんたには、あんただけの道がある。と言っても、どの道も同じさ。私たちがたどり着くのは同じく、命の新たな形だ。
That's why you call yourself a god.
まさか。あの映像を見たんだろう。本当かどうかはさておいて、人間の未来はどこにあるのか。そしていつしかあんたは自分のことをどう認識するのか。世界を救ったヒーロー？私とエッダを倒しておいて、世界を元に戻すだけでいいのか
い？ Hero. That label doesn't mean much to me. If what I've done looks heroic to you, so be it. I don't live by titles. Words like that don't mean anything. You call us special. Exceptional? Maybe, but I never believed I was meant to be more than what I am. Not murdering. No, I took a bullet to the heart that should have killed me. But I was lucky. It gave me power instead. But that doesn't give me the right to demand anything, or to rule anyone. I'm only here just to stop you from wrecking the world.
これが破壊と思うんだ。
Yes, but I don't hide behind words like justice. Act on what I believe is right, just as you do. I'm not here to judge you, only to act on my will. I'm no scientist, so I can't cure neurosis. Nor am I a revolutionary. I don't know how to rebuild a society. And I don't meddle in what I don't understand. If civilization is destined to end its own evolution, that's beyond my control. But I won't let anyone twist its own fate on a whim. Stopping you, that much, I can do.
正直なもんだ。 あんたは。で、考えはまとまったかい？逃げるか戦うのか。逃げるなら力を伸ばして私を追い抜く時間が得られるかもしれない。まあ言っても待ってやるほどのんきな太刀じゃない。だがここで私と戦うと決めたらあんたに勝算はないはずだ。約束しよう。戦うと決めたならあんたか私かどちらか一人が殺されるまで付き合ってやる。あんたの全てをかけてこのチャンスをものにするかい？たっぷり考えるといい。
Turn. Walk to a low ridge and settle at its crest. I'm slipped around from here.
ダメ。行っちゃダメ。
Turn and pull my shooting into my arms. Ruby rushed in too, the two of them pressing against my chest. Brushed a hand across Master's cheeks. She clutched it tight, tears brimming in her eyes.
お願い。だから。
Seeing her lips just before.
もう帰ろう。帰ろうよ。誰にも見つからない場所に逃げよう。
Wait a minute.
やめて。言わないで。何が言いたいかわかるの。だからやめて。もう何も望まない。わがままと思われたって構わない。私は分析員が生きていればそれだけでいいの。
Master, hey, it's okay.
病気ももう治ったから痛いよ。わかってるよね。
Iteruyo? Her tears spill into my palm, warm against my skin.
一緒に生きていたいよ。まだ話したいことがあるよ。またガルーアイランドにも行きたいし、誓約も結びたいよ。二人でやりたいことがまだいっぱいあるんだよ。
I know, Master, I do.
どうしても行くの。
You put her head back, teeth clenched, fighting back tears. ごめんね。
謝んないで。やめて。聞きたくない。分析員、約束して。帰ってくるって。
約束する。fucking hell. 約束す fucking hell, I promise, I'll come back for you. I'll take you both home. We'll all go home. Together. On my other side, Boo Boo slowly pulled back from my arms. Boo Boo. I want you to know, I've seen how hard you've tried. Every bit of it. I saw how you fought Roseanne. I've waited a long time for this day. I'm proud of you, Boo Boo. Boo Boo can finally stand on her own.
言いたいことは？じゃあ私から言ってもいい
Where the fuck did her voice go? You drew a deep breath.
頑張って私にとって分析員はいつだってヒーローなの。全てを教えてくれて 目指すべき自分を教えてくれてありがとう。分析員のしたいようにやってきてちゃんと見届けるからちゃんと覚えるから。
ありがとう。約束するね。I'll win this time. He broke into a teary smile, nodded once, rose on her toes, and kissed me on the lips.
幸運のキスなの。今占ったの。この戦いは絶対に勝てるんだって。
I leaned in, hugged me, and pressed the death note into my hand.
これを持ってっていざとなったら使って。
Then a flash of inspiration struck me. It will. I ruffled their hair and then turned and started up the hill. Started up the hill? What? Started walking up the hill toward Roseanne.
来たか。
Roseanne rose to her feet.
やっぱり私の目は間違っていなかった。
Please.
当然さ。あんたは私の同類だと前々から思っていた。志や選んだ道こそ違うけど、この誘いに乗ってくれたのが何よりの証拠だ。力だけじゃなく、その何もかも余裕な感じと態度もそう思わせたんだ。だが私にはわかる。それは上辺だけのものなのだと。所詮人間なんて父に追いやってしまえば尻尾を出すものなんでね。もしあんたが逃げると決めたなら、私の見当違いってことさ。名だたる分析員は本当はただの腰抜け野郎で、このロザンが相手するまでもないとね。
That's a narrow view. You've run before too.
負け戦なら一旦引いた方が賢明さ。それに私、いや、ロザン・フワルナの狙いはあんたを試すことで、決戦のつもりなど初めからなかった。話を戻せば、今のあんたに勝算が全くないわけでもない。タイタン物質と体の融合はうまく調整できたかい？それくらいの猶予はやったつもりだ。あんたにもチャンスはあるということさ。
Who knew? Still, I don't understand why you'd be so generous.
私は私の一部を殺したと言ったよな。何？予想外ではあったが、別段受け入れられない結果でもない。それに誘いに乗ってくれたんだから、目的人間が持ち得る最も貴重な特質、勇気。そんなあんたを殺したいし、あんたに殺されてもそれもそれでいい。仮に生き残ったのはあんただとしても、私が作ろうとした世界を作ってくれるに違いない。ソフィーのジョーちゃんにも言ったことだけど、自分の道を語ることは、私は対決の申し出とみなす。その信念を分かり、認めた相手には、私に殺される権利をあげる。どうせ同じ特質を持つ二人が殺し合ったところで死ぬのがどっちだろうと、その特質が消えたりやしない。
残念だがら、reasons to kill you can't set aside. I can't pretend Rosa, fucking whatever the fuck your name is gone. There's still deaths tied to her name. That's that only death can repay.
いいんだよ。別に構わないさ。
Let's end this. That's my strength. I forced the agent to fuse by my cells. Like Guardian of Forge, I needed one final strike to be reforged. Like Dawn's first clash to Dust's last ambush. 100 battles, and at the end, that death match with Sisyphus. It was past exhaustion, even as Taijin kept my body upright. My will had already turned to ash. Yet, Roseanne still stood before me like something newly born of the night. She was right. She'd evolved into a new form of life. Can I really do this? I asked myself. It was a question I could no longer avoid. When wavering gaze rekindled a spark within me. Rip away everything, thought, noise, doubt. Only pure will and focus could grasp even the faintest chance of victory. This was the moment. Unleash the fear I had kept caged and turn it on the enemy before me. Face her. Face that fear. Face that truth I'd fought her countless times and never won. Face her willpower as relentless as mine. I closed my eyes, drew a breath, and let the inner fire rise, burning the rust from my courage. Then I opened them to a heart burned clean, and within it, the resolve to win, to end her at last, began to grow. I pocketed the death knell, raised my fist, and charged straight at Roseanne. Sunflowers still burned. The air stank of scorched earth. From the ridge, metal rang against metal, again and again. Flames licked the sky. Sparks filled the sands between blows, flashing through the dark, and still, the clashing didn't stop. It wouldn't stop. One of us reached for godhood, yearning to build a new world. The other stayed human, fighting to protect. What the fuck? Fighting to protect this one. We clashed, faster than anyone could move, harder than any body could endure. Each impact roared like thunder no mortal was meant to make. Roseanne split again. She was still in her human form. She hadn't gone all out yet. I had to hold what the fuck? I had to hold something back too, from the other form looking within her. Kept her guard tight, chipping away at me bit by bit. She could have broken through if she'd gone all out, but she waited patiently for the perfect opening. Once I caught a real opening, turned her punch into a takedown, dragging her into the ground game. Chokes and joint locks were my equalizer when brute strength wasn't. Even a body of steel could be choked out. I learned that from our earlier bout back in the sanatorium. After I wrenched her arm once, she never let me take it to the ground again. She fought slow and careful, grinding me down, carving at my will piece by piece. It had become a battle of will. I fought as Taijin knitted my wounds, growing numb to pain, to fatigue, to everything else. Roseanne saw I was fading, but instead of pressing, she slowed, testing me with cautious strikes. The fight dragged on, her rhythm tightened, her blows came faster, and slowly, she began to believe my weakness was real. Then, it's time. I made her charge with a heavy cross punch. We both staggered, but I didn't back off to catch my breath. I drove straight in. She got both my fists, eyes locked onto mine.
気づいた。自分の負け。
In the next instant, Taijin surged across her skin, hardening into bleeding armor. Like a demon lord reborn, she ripped free and brought both arms clashing down toward my head. I caught the blow, but the force still crashed through me. My feet sank into the soft, scalding mud as the weight drove me down inch by inch. He seized the moment by dropping a knee into my gut. The Taijin I'd formed there shattered on impact. Then came the killing blow, aimed straight from our heart. Imada! This was the opening I waited for, holding steady, faking weakness, hanging on just long enough. Every trace of fatigue, every fearless resolve to die, all of it had been an act. But even so, it was a gamble of my life. From the moment Master Drew pressed the death knell into my hand, I knew there was only one way to defeat Roseanne, not one with her Delos. Time seemed to slow. I'd already pumped the death knell before our final clash. Reasons to kill, reasons to live, promises to keep. I just show up twice. Everyone and everything I had sworn to protect, and all the hope and love I carried within me. With all of it on my back, I ready my last strike. Dropped my guard and let her arm drive straight through my chest. At the same moment, my right fist, Death Knell, clenched in it, smashed through the Taijin plate guarding her heart. Every last drop of Taijin in me surged into my palm, flooding the Death Knell. An irresistible force shot through my arm, surging into Rosa. Her armor and the Taijin in its... And what? Her armor and the Taijin in us fused into one raging current, flooding into the device. We were like two furnaces chained together, burning up every last scrap of fuel. Hold on. Neither of us could move. The Death Knell drank us both dry. It was a desperate, last-ditch move. Activate the Death Knell with Taijin, and under its phase lock, we would drain the user dry. No failsafe. I'd only tested it once, back when the device was first built. But now, with this much Taijin pouring in, I had no idea what would come next. In a heartbeat, the Death Knell overloaded. I yanked my arm back, just in time to shoot my vitals before it blew. My head rang. The world spun. I couldn't tell up from down. Get up. This isn't over. Forced myself upright. Not far away, Rosen staggered too, just as wrecked as I was. With the last trace of Taijin in my body gone, everything felt like it was in slow motion. The Death Knell had drained me to the bone. Rosen was the same, battered, bloodied, barely standing. I must have looked no better. Surviving that blast was a miracle in itself. But this was everything I'd grappled everything for. To bring us both back to zero, to start again, for one last fair fight. A slow, heavy swing. She saw it coming, but her arms were too slow. My fist smashed into her jaw. They rushed back as my muscles moved. The adrenaline faded, with no Taijin propping me up. My strength began to drain away. No. Not now. Not yet! Wrapped both arms around her head, tucked in, and drove my knee up. Her fist struck my ribs, but my knee smashed into her forehead exactly as planned. She tore free and stumbled back, then tripped on something. I pounced, crashing onto her. Blood streamed from her scalp. One eye was bloodshot, the other locked on me. She clamped down on my wrists, trying to break my leverage. Don't let her recover. Don't give her room to strike back. I caught her wrists and locked them down, both our arms trapped, then drove my forehead into hers. Her grip faltered. I caught her right arm, trapped it between my legs, and arched back with everything I had. The bones in her arm snapped. Maybe the pain cleared her head. She rolled left, gritting her teeth, slipping free. Right arm now hung useless, yet she still came for me. She had no escape. She never meant to. I was spent, and she seized the moment, rolled me over, straddled me, her legs snapping from my throat. I twisted away, but her one good arm snaked around my neck, tightening fast. Only one of us will walk away. Even now, she clung to every scrap of chance. If the right arm still worked, she might have stood the choke, but it didn't, and she could only watch as I pried her grip off, inch by inch. Locked my legs around her waist, heaved hard. I flipped her under me. Then I wrapped my fingers around her throat and squeezed with everything I had left. Her blood ran down her face, across my knuckles. The sunflowers around us still burned, her features flickering between firefly and shadow. She clawed at my hand, trying to tear it off. I gave her everything, through the hot, sick blood. Her grip slowly faltered, then fell away. Did we do it? Hatred. Ideals. Courage. Resolve. All of it faded with a final breath. Burden that had shadowed me for a year ended here, by my own hands. Roseanne, the one who killed Orlova and left a trail of blood behind her. And the reborn Roseanne, who dreams of building a new world. Both were gone. The woman who came as judge and executioner, who stepped into the pit to stake her life against mine, was finished. Like me, she had staked everything, and with the courage and clarity of a human heart, she followed her will to the very end. Couldn't tell how long it had been, ages, or just a moment, when Head Bube and Mashiro calling out to me. I couldn't make out the words, my body felt cold. I looked down, a deep gash split my chest. From Rosette had carved when I used the death knell. The bleeding had slowed, my armor was soaked. Every seam thick with blood. Maybe even that wound, I had killed Roseanne. Even with that wound, I killed Roseanne. Lapsed. The forces blurred together, numbness crawled up from my limbs, reaching for my head. I think, did we caught me? I saw her lips flutter, shouting something, but I heard nothing. My heartbeat was the only sound left. Someone lifted my arm, my vision wavered. Shapes moved around me, but I couldn't follow them. I no longer understood what they were doing. Every bit of strength left in my body was spent just staying alive. My senses were shutting down. Mist closed in from the edge of the world, hungry to swallow the last of the night. It felt like I was sinking into the sea, struggling not to break apart. Through the haze, I saw Mashiro running toward me. Smoothing her hands, she placed it on my chest, already numb to the touch. To help, my body stopped coming apart. Sound returned first, then warmth, a hot wetness on my face. I feel like I'm the adjutant for like being numb and stuff, because for talking so much, as I go out of breath, my hands go like numb-ish, and like, you know, I lose strength kinda. I need time to catch my breath, and you know, so that I don't pass out and stuff. Fucking hell. The cold crept back into my chest. The body began to draw intelligence on its own, pulling into strength I could still command. My heart beat slowly, as if it had stopped for a while and someone had called it back. It was damaged. My body gathered what intelligence it could, patching it up. The smell of burning sunflowers drifted into my nose. Ugh. Brought me more intelligence. Not much, but enough to help me recover. Wait, that's enough. Hold me up. Last I could stand. The intelligent radiation had weakened. Not enough to jam our comms anymore. I took the terminal from Mashiro and called headquarters. Watashi Rosa has been killed. All Titans eliminated. All operatives alive. Told Tao. The operation's complete. I'm gonna go grab food and also catch my breath. I am very much out of breath and I am hungry. It's 2 p.m. as you can see. I'll be back, and also I'll use this chance to like check if audio works and stuff. I think it works. Yeah, audio works. Give me a bit. Give me like, I don't know, half an hour. Holy fuck! I need to breathe. Oh, it was good though. The story was good. It could have been better, but it was good. The writing was still off as usual, but it's good enough. Holy fuck. Food. There. Oh. See you guys in like half an hour maybe. Okay. I've eaten, I've gotten some rest, I've got more water. Just in case my body is still not, you know, caught up to the breath, whatever, however you want to word it. Let's go do some other stuff first. Okay. Why is this? This is new. Did it just change banners? Jesus Christ. I don't recall if they changed banners. I don't think they did because I don't have anything new to trial. Why is the event still? Oh, it's a permanent event, right? I don't think I've ever finished the battle pass in this game. And there's 14 days left. Right. Alright, actually, we haven't looked at Mashiru last stream. But I do have her. We know what her ability does. She can spawn 2 if I recall as well. She's... I believe it scales auxiliary unit strength because it is a drone. Only I could actually check. See, how about attack and health? I feel like she's the Ganyu of this game. Wait, hold on, what's the last? Creates a frost weapon, increases unit damage. Yeah, okay, it does sell auxiliary unit damage. We do have her signature weapon, the Enlightener. Increases auxiliary unit damage by 42%. Crit by Masteru. When a drone deals damage, has a 30% chance to deploy one additional Lotus nearby. The Adjutant drone and the original drone are both connected to the same Mindflower node. Each drone on field, all of her auxiliary units get 1 stack of fruit and bloom, increases their frost damage by 1.5%, and the targets take 0.7 more frost damage hit by attacks. Okay. You can get her by doing the puzzle thing. By her, I mean the weapon. I'll level this up as much as I can. What's sending? What am I missing? Hold on, okay. And by leveling up to, like, I believe level 60, you get the muzzle break. Okay, so this is the attachment. Destructible object damage, what the fuck? Yeah, I'd rather have this. It doesn't really fit the whole theme, I mean... Not that the muzzle break does, either. Sight. Yeah, sight doesn't fit. Accuracy. I guess accuracy is their hip fire, increases defense. We have nothing better, so let's just use that. Mag. I mean, these two feel like they're in the same set. Interrupt ability boost and defense. Sure, why not? And trinket. No, that's the rail attachment. What the fuck is this supposed to be? Increases accuracy and health, sure. Accuracy, health will also buff the, what's the word? Health will also buff the drones, right. Okay. So look at logistics. We're not here for... Right, they're not out yet. Right. Let's look at the Octus Drive. I guess we can just... It'll tell us when we activate it. When deploying a node, sorry, will automatically deploys the drone beside it. The drone deployed decreases the cooldown of ultimate by 1. The node is in anesthesia state, increases final damage of the node. You can connect to the drones by 20%. Release and the effect is removed. When Mashin is continuously releasing ultimate skill, all Mindflower nodes recover 10% max health every second. Okay. So these are all QOL, which is to be expected. Neuronics, I don't know if I want to upgrade her neuronics. At least I don't know if I'll be using her. Anyway. What's that? I like the other side events. I don't think I'll show Garden of Mayhem. It's just PvC. I don't think they changed it. They might have added these buffs, but I'm not sure. Tree enhancement seems about the same. Oh no, it is not the same. They added these stuff. I'll probably do the base stuff, and then like once I unlock all of it, I'll like tell you guys like in the challenge mode. Like I'll probably show challenge mode when it comes out. Let's optimize Heimdall. We've played this before. Do I want to play it though? I mean, I would play it for the Opal Vultures. I don't really want to play it. Let's see. I don't know what that is. You know what? Tree of Wishes. We should do this. Info source analysis, or did it just not claim it? Info source analysis. I mean, it is Tuesday. Did I log in yesterday? And when we'd find out. Guess I didn't. Alright, just do the usual stuff, and then we'll be out of here. Go. 1. You probably use more one of the singular blocks because they occupy a lot of space in my the amount of pieces I can hold. That should be enough for the tree event. Guess we can also talk to someone, but that means I'm gonna have to talk more. Back in here again. Ohayo. Ah, you're awake. What's in your mind? I don't know. Utsukin, am I sick? Are you feeling unwell? It's not that, it's just... When I woke up, I don't really feel like doing anything. And I'm not even sure what I'm thinking about anymore. It doesn't sound like you're sick then, just that you've changed. Nothing's driving you forward anymore in life. You finally have time to pause to let a whole morning drift by. Can I have a hug? Do you have to ask? Thanks. I guess life was the serious person until like later on in the story. Then we have Masuda again. I believe it is for her story. Yep. Cat's strange behavior. When I came in just now, I seemingly caught a glimpse of Masuda holding a box with a strange smile on her face. I was exhausted after going on several missions in a row, but it was hard to ignore Masuda. I decided to see what she was up to. Yongoroku. Heard counting as soon as I approached Masuda's room, had a distinct sense of deja vu. Looks like there are quite a few issues to deal with. How do you manage this, Nya? Does it hurt? Was there another person in the room with you? No need to thank me. Our company doesn't use any of this stuff now. It didn't sound like she was talking to anyone from the Heimdall Force, but other than Heimdall operatives, no one else could enter the base dorms. Was there something hidden in the box Masaru took her just now? I'm gonna guess there's a cat in the box. And I'm gonna call her Kirara. Have we seen Masaru's room before? I don't think we have seen Masaru's room before. No, I remember seeing this, but I never recall seeing her like this side of the table of the room. Actually, I think we have. This is the thing you put like globes on. I think it was a piece of dialogue. My curiosity drew closer to Masaru's door. It was inexplicably ajar, the scene inside completely unobstructed. I was even more surprised to find that Masaru was the only person in the room. Her back faced the door, and she was busying herself with something next to her desk. It seemed like the person she was talking to wasn't a person at all. Was it an animal? Had Masaru found a stray cat? I know we work really hard, but life isn't always easy. As Masaru continued mumbling, finally spotted the box she had just brought in resting under her desk. On top of the desk was a flower covered in Taijin? Looking more closely, I realized it wasn't a flower, it was depleted Taijin. Just like I'd seen before in the Containment Zone. It was the physical remnants left behind when carbon-based life forms were destroyed by Taijin and evaporated. So this one seemed to be a bird. Or was a bird. Was Masaru talking to depleted Taijin? Witnessing this immediately made me wonder if I was seeing things due to not getting enough sleep. Was Masaru under too much pressure? Even though the scheduled workload for each Heimdall operative was pretty reasonable. Recent events could have easily left an excessive amount of stress. It's time to me to fulfill my responsibility as Adjutant to fulfill my fellow operatives. Yeah? Adjutant, what are you doing here? Masaru, are you having any problems recently? Mondai, if you're referring to any issues encountered during any missions, they have all been resolved successfully. You can take a look at the corresponding reports, Adjutant. No, I'm not just talking about missions. Something else, my bodily functions were all normal during the last Heimdall Force self-examination, and my manifestation abilities have been improved. Judging by your record expressions, you seem to be in distress, Adjutant. I suddenly realized that playing the role of Masaru's therapist would be a lost cause. I'd better just be direct. What's this on your desk? Ah, Kore? You notice how it's different from typical depleted Taijin. It's an incomplete state. I went to great lengths to trade for it from Sirius. See, it's retained portion of its carbon-based form from before evaporation. Following the direction Masaru was pointing, I saw what seemed to be a pigeon wing stretching out from the bottom portion of the so-called flower. Look at the trace of Taijin here in cracks. They only evaporated halfway before stopping. I've never heard of something like this happening before. Isn't it fascinating? I've no idea how Sirius got her hands on it. Adjutant, do you have any clues? Maybe you could work together and investigate, yeah? Wrong button. After Masaru began talking about the mysterious phenomena, her curious nature completely took over. She then went on and on about all the other strange things in her unique collection. The fact that Masaru was solely willing to share her collection made me somewhat ecstatic. It looked like I wouldn't be able to press the issue further that day, so I decided to find another opportunity to ask. Which is probably the next story ever. I'm still slightly out of breath. Man. Like 20 minutes break was not enough, I tell ya. Let's get back to the tree then. Not that. I guess I'll do it off screen since we know what that's gonna be about. I can do a 5 pull. The Earth stays almost here, but I don't need to remind you to decorate a tree, right? Should I be doing that more? Anyway, day 5. Let's check on the tree. Pick a tree. The Clarina? But this makes sense, Marianne. Well, it doesn't matter, I simply cannot yield. I feel the same way. I don't like how the camera's panning, like, between them. It's a shame to hear that. For the honor of our families, we may have no choice but to settle this ourselves. Unexpected to walk into the hall and witness something this shocking. The three girls who usually cared the most about etiquette were in the middle of a heated argument. Naturally, I couldn't just stand by and watch. Which brings me back to why I believe Lucellen style ribbons are the ideal choice for a Star Street. Specifically, the ones supplied exclusively by the Andrade family. Lucellen carries the richest Starwish stay spirit on the continent, surely you both agree. That may be true, but compared to Lucellen's Ulster style, Celestia's design feel more contemporary. The Genora family commissions the latest Starwish trees from their carpolas every year, balancing between classical elegance and fresh creativity. Before anything else, I should correct the common misconception that Shouzo only celebrates Mingdengjie. We take Starwish Day. Mingdengjie? Is that like Mid-Autumn Festival? Or is that like Lantern Rite? We take Starwish Day and the decoration of Starwish trees quite seriously as well. The G family Shouzo style is perfectly suitable. I'm sure my prince would appreciate it. So you girls have been arguing about the Starwish tree the whole time. My prince, there you are. I thought it was something more serious from how intense it sounded. It is serious, very serious in fact. Since the final decision is yours, Adjutant, we're actually going to look for you. Which style do you think fits best? All three turned their eyes on me. Honestly, I had no idea what the difference between the three styles even was. Even if I randomly picked ones, everything would turn out beautiful with their fine tastes. If three girls all mean so much to me, giving a careless answer would never sit right with me. After some quick thinking, I gave my reply. What about all of them? For example, choose a fabric, Ulster style cuts, and fluorescent patterns and ornaments. How does that sound? Wouldn't that combination clash? I trust all of your skills and tastes. Let's give it a try then. Let's give it a try first. Very well, I'll fetch the fabric. Then I will pick out some design patterns. Kids and Clarina departed one after another, while Marianne stayed behind, smiling softly at me. I had a feeling you'd choose a solution like this, Adjutant. It came to me naturally, you all hold equally weight in my heart. I choose only one. While we're all waiting for them, let's do something to get it past time. Sure. I guess they're just giving us a chance to at least experience all the game modes. I choose Marianne. Maybe that's Marianne. Rewards. Here, one in practice mode. And lose in challenge mode. But let's go. You're not Marianne! Can I quit? You know what? Let's lose! I'm gonna shoot myself. I'm gonna shoot myself again! What?! This game is rigged. I'm gonna shoot myself again! I'm gonna shoot myself. Shoot myself again. Really? Shoot myself again. How much did I lose? They're still around 2. I'm gonna shoot myself again. I'm sure you guys have noticed the pattern by now. You don't need to reveal the bullet! You know! There's only 2 bullets!
心苦しいですがお許しを。
Inner XP. Did it not fail once? Also didn't lose coins? What was that then? Okay, it's just waiting to practice with you. This was a challengeable button. It didn't lose anything. Which one is challenge? Which one is practice then?
遊戯の時間ですね。
Oh no, this is practice, probably. At least a tutorial. Wait, did that count? Did that one game count? I wonder. If that counted, then we won't have to really go any further. What did I unlock here? Oh. Well, that counted. Wrong button. Right, that didn't count because we didn't play a game with Marianne, we played with, I believe, Chensing. Yeah, that was Chensing. Why is it these two? Hold on.
今のは独り言だから。
File. I think I get it. I think we have to do this. With her.
分析員さんとの遊戯の時間ですね。
I'm gonna try to fail on purpose and see what happens. We don't have items, so I'm just gonna shoot myself.
少し行き過ぎたでしょうか。
Empty.
いまいちですね。
This is the practice round, so I need to lose here. You made the second part already, but already lost. Items, handcuffs. Let's shoot ourselves. Let's shoot ourselves again. Let's shoot ourselves. Let's shoot ourselves again. Are the animations all the same?
お仕置きの続きですか?
Yeah, it seems to be the same. Maybe... Okay, did I get the reward? I did, okay. There. You happy now, game? Right. We actually haven't gone to the photo taking booth yet, I don't think. Well, let's go take a look. Hopefully it doesn't turn on the camera. Do I have to just come here, or do I have to take a photo of Marianne? I'm just... I have to take a photo, okay. What the fuck? Why is she censored then? Also, like, the censor does not really work. Yeah, why is she censored? I don't get it. Interaction mode. I don't get what the change interaction mode meant. Valid action. Oh, because they're controlling us now. Okay, now we can switch. Why are they all censored? There's Marianne now. I finally found her. Sure. Done. I wonder if I'm censored because like I'm not on like the standalone client, or maybe like I'm streaming. I'm not sure, but even then, like their YouTube videos are all censored. But that might be just whatever. Doesn't really matter. This is not a Gruner game, or at least not that bad of a Gruner game. Korean. We don't get why they're all censored though, because they're all like wearing like clothes. You know, their skin on their torso are not showing at all, or barely sometimes. Okay, great. After receiving a fabric from Chen Xing, Marion skillfully cut it into long strips. Then I borrowed a machine from the resource department to print patterns onto the ribbons. I worried the mixed styles might look strange, but the moment I had finished the ribbons, all my worries vanished. These look wonderful. Who would have thought the combination would create such marvelous sense of beauty? Means Saki might have a talent for design. Then maybe I should design outfits for all of you next time. Yakusakudane? I want a gorgeous evening gown. Ooh, future skin. With that promise, we completed the service tree decorations for the day. Let's check the tree. Is that all? It's just a long-ass ribbon that has this gold edge to it. What happened to patterns? Or is it like some graphic quality setting? Whatever. That shows just around the corner, and the tree decorations were nearly complete. After checking with Caroline and Luna to see that the preparation was preparations were going smoothly, headed toward the artificial beach. Why would you go to the beach when it's basically Christmas? Or it's like winter? Daddy? Sure enough, the girls are already there waiting for me. You've worked so hard in the past few days decorating a science tree. I've seen every bit of your effort. Well, I didn't just watch, I made sure to remember every moon of how dashing you look, Adjutant. Who the fuck is calling me? Okay, someone called me and then hung up, okay. And I recorded your voice. I'm not sure when y'all started following me around, but I can definitely feel love. Y'all agreed that we'll help you decorate the summer tree together. At first, we were going to have you search for the gifts we had hid around Yggdrasil. But Fanny insisted you've been working hard enough already that we should ease the load a little. We've already done that, actually. So we decided to hide the gifts here on the beach. That should make them easier for you to find. You know, you can also just hand the gifts to me. As much as I love to do that, darling, we all agreed on hiding the gifts. Consider it part of the ritual. You girls really don't make it easy for me. Alright, I'll start looking for them. We've got this, Adjutant. Alright, where the hell do we find them? Also, why not just put us in the beach and, you know, instead of us teleporting there? Yeah, okay, where the fuck would the gifts be? Cacti? On something. What a gift in the cacti, and also there's this Hermit crab. Another cactus. Ah, here's one. Why are they hiding into the cactus? The fuck? Don't tell me it's another it's another cactus. What the hell? And we have to get the last gift from Fenny. Getting the sand together. Huh? How did I not know this was a thing? Okay, I'm gonna call them here. I need to know. I need to know what that does. I don't remember this. Okay, maybe it is kind of cute. Is that all though? Those for? Okay, then it repeats somewhere in the middle. Okay. Sure. And I guess this is our sand body right here. Alright, where is the thing? We need to play the you can play this right with Fenny. I'm not done Sirius's order, apparently. Okay. Why is this so slow? Matcha, very fruity. Can't read this. There you go.
ダーリン、ちゃんと見ててね。上手ね、ダーリン。ダーリンの精度はなかなかいいじゃない。上手ね、ダーリン。ふふん、この調子なら早めに終われるわね。うんうん、言うほど難しくないじゃない。お前が盗む
Take a rainbow cone. Rainbow, so it's really sprinkles. Tangy, so it's really fruity? Yep.
お前の実力がどんなものか楽しみ。
I don't know what made Narita want to join into this activity. She does not feel like she would be interested in this kind of thing.
ほら、受け止めたぞ。
Her expression,
事実が示す通り、お前の実力は戦闘力。ほら、受け止めたぞ。お前の実力だ。成功は予想通り。ほら、受け止めたぞ。
Chocomatcha
食べて
fusion.
みたいな。いっそのこ
Choco.
とスーパージャイアントバーガーでも作っちゃおうか。冗談だ。私たちこんなに息が合ってるんだからもうわかるでしょ。どうかな、私の才能にビビった？いいゲームだね。冷たいデザートを食べたいだけ。どうかな、私の才能にビビった？ふん、さすが私たち。どうかな、私の才能にビビった？
Citrus berry,
使えるのに
citrus,
ぴったりのスイーツ
then berry. No,
見つけました。
there you
絶対これです。分析員さんがどこに投げてもしっかりと受け止めますよ。当たったんですか？分析員さんすごいです。勢いに乗って今の調子で当たったんですか？
I think I get why they designed it like this. On mobile, you'd be like touching all over them.
私たち息がぴったりですね。やっぱり分析員さん。あら。
So that's why it's designed like this. Now I get it.
愛の印、私受け取りましたよ。それじゃ遠慮なく好きなものを全部いただくね。
Chocolate crumbles, vanilla ice cream. There you go.
私だって結構強いんだから。分析員見て見て、私やったよ。今の調子なら私受け止めれる。分析員見て見て、私やったよ。もっと頑張る7がチャンスだと思うんだけど、分析員はどう思う？分析員見て見て、私やったよ。
これもまだ試してない。これも
Rainbow cones, so sprinkles.
ポンプしたいけど、
Man, I do not know what the rest
今
are.
回はこれでいいかな。
Sure. Got it in the first try.
私たちこんなに息が合ってるんだから、もうわかるでしょ。特殊スキルを使ったんだね。ナイス。こんなの私にとっては朝飯前だよ。いいゲームだね。冷たいデザートを食べたい。どうかな。私の才能にビビった？さすが私たち。こんなの私にとっては朝飯前だよ。
There we go.
喉乾かない。
愛の詰まった作品ですね。食べられるよ。
先にこっちの。
グルメを守るのは
Okay, that's probably enough, right?
私の義務。
Please tell me that's enough. Or like that was the right game mode to play. No, we had to play with Fanny herself, not... Gosh dang it. How many desserts we need to make you? If it's only just like one?
これ、そしてこれ。決まり
Free Rainbow Reverie. There we go. Oh, we can auto make!
ダーリン、ちゃんと見ててね。上手ね、ダーリン。ダーリンの精度はなかなかいいじゃない。言うほど難しくないじゃない。意外と順調じゃない。私の気のせい？ねえダーリン、スピード。言うほど難しくないじゃない。
Jesus Christ.
まあダーリンが良ければ私が一緒に食べてあげてもいいわよ。
Just as expected, darling. Adjutant, me too, I want a turn. And me. Also, why aren't they in like the next swimsuit? Seriously, and Vidya eagerly jumped in. Because like they are in their swimsuits when you play that minigame, but like why aren't they here? Looks like I'll have to take you on then. We ended up playing on the beach for a long while. I'll probably check if there's like discounted things I can buy. Starfish Eve from the Opal Visual Store. I plan to make a star today and place it on top of the Starfish tree. Earlier this morning, Keisha sent me a message asking me to meet her in the hall. Yo, Bunsukin, took you long enough. Keisha, Fruity, and Mashiro, you're all here. Somehow the three of them showed a peculiar harmony, even in the smallest details. Looking at the lead programmer and former scriptwriter of Star Master. Furman was not necessary, yeah. So why did y'all call me here? We prepared a Starfish event in the Star Master, and we'd like you to try to— No! No! There isn't enough time to design a new map. But we at least finished all the quest items and rewards. That's right, yeah. Got it, so basically you find quest items in the game, right? Killer instincts as always, Adjutant. I'm sure you'll clear it in no time. Let's start the run. Star Master. Well. What do we need to do? What do we need to do again? Hidden Starwish items in the Star Master. Try to find them all. There's 3 of them. That's not very hard. They're just marked like that. Also, is there a boss here? Yes. Let's take the boss on! Why not? There you go, now you can capture it. Same stats, just different abilities. We already had the lead tech mech before. Why not? Is there still no teleporting in this game? And there is. There's 3 of them. Let's try teleporting here then? Is that new? Yeah, I know it's certain. I haven't seen this before, but is it like limited to like this time of year? Man, I do not look forward to going through this area.
10秒で片付ける。やれ。
さ、制圧射撃を始める。
These guys are stronger than usual. You guys have a
予備は
nighttime?
十分にある。
もうダメなの？操作方法は知ってる。やれ。
It's cold. How do I get there? Guess you're here. There's another chest there.
達成。完了。解決。
What data carrier?
次。
Got one. Where's the rest? Oh. I think I need to kill you.
私が欲しいものはない。10秒で片付ける。
Seems like I do have to do this though.
操作方法は知ってる。
Go. Now to get that. Pretty on all, but I don't think those are quest items. Yeah, those aren't the quest items you need. Why is that marked yellow? Signal. Portal. I'm gonna see what the requirement is. Book tiers and set off fireworks, so there's more. You set more of fireworks off. Man.
私は行くから。好きにして。私は行く
You're
か
just
ら
away now.
好きにして。私が欲しいものはない。達成。完了。解決。
Other data carrier? What the hell is this? Oh, this is one of the side missions that you completed to get more companions, isn't it? Hey, upside down L and Geo symbol.
Mendo. 法は知ってる。
Okay, so they were 500 meters away now. Maybe it's back here. $100 meters away still. We're down here then, probably. $200 meters away! What? Which direction? Is it... Oh, it's in the day! Okay, that's why we couldn't find it. Yeah, you guys got nuked. Like, why did you attack me?
操作方法は知ってる。
Go to the beach and set off fireworks. We're here. I mean, I wouldn't call this a beach. There's no sand at all. Come back at night! Okay, buddy. All the fireworks were in a virtual world. They're undeniably beautiful. As the fireworks burned out, a star suddenly appeared in the sky. It slowly descended until finally landing in my hand. This is... a star. Huh. I see. You can use it to decorate the tree. Should finish Star Master someday. Look at just flowers now. These flowers and stars, not just that star. Exciting Star Master, I quickly made my way to base hall. Just as I expected, a dazzling star was already waiting by the Stars tree. It was identical to the one I had just held as Star Master. Didn't need to ask how to needed to ask what the fuck? Didn't need to ask to know who prepared it. As I placed it on the tree, I heard footsteps approaching from behind. Turning around, I saw all the ghosts standing before me. And with that, memories from the past 7 days flashed before my eyes. One by one, I brought back the Stars tree with life. On day 1, sorry, not one by one. On day 2, I found colorful baubles with Nita, Katya, and Derrida. On day 3, with the help of Cherno, Haru, and Tess, I found stuffed toys of Vetchel. On day 4, I found the gifts hidden by Yao, Enya, Mia, and Lulu. On day 5, I designed the ribbons with Marianne, Clarina, and Chenxin. On day 6, I found the gifts that Fenny, Sirius, and Vidya had prepared. Oh no, those are gifts from Vidya and the gang. And today on day 7, I cleared the game event Acacia, Vidya, and Masudu had created and received a star for it. All efforts over the 7 days had come together in the beautifully decorated Stars tree before me. Now it was time to make wishes. I waited for each of those to speak, but they only smiled at me. I think I speak for everyone here. We all have the same wish. To be with you forever and ever. Up to the girls, and they returned my gaze with unwavering determination, stepping closer to surround me. Jubi wa ii, Dani. Looks like it's going to be a long night. On Star's Day. After last night's celebration, the Heimdall girls were still asleep in the room we all shared. When I tried to slip out quietly, Master just stirred and stole the first kiss of Star's Day. Then the other girls began to wait. It took a good while to spend a bit of tender time with each of them, but I finally managed to head out and welcome today's guests as planned. To my surprise, the girls are already waiting outside the door. I did not expect her. Sapphire, you're gonna Genki sleep before me. Hints of mystery in their eyes. What are you all doing here? Winsaki, happy Star's Day! Winsaki, Ni-chan, happy Star's Day! Happy Star's Day. Along with their greetings, they each extended a hand toward me. Ah, so this is about the gifts. A few days ago, Sapphire had learned about the Star's Day celebration and had been pestering me for a present ever since. That's so on brand of her. It wasn't until I told her that gifts can only be given on Star's Day that she finally stopped asking. She probably couldn't contain her excitement and shared that information with Yogurt and Genki's. That Yogurt joined in was no surprise, but Genki's too? I guess Yogurt and Genki's for a moment, and she promptly responded. I confirmed beforehand that you had prepared gifts and therefore determined that requesting one would not cause you any inconvenience. How to argue with that logic? Shaking my head with a chuckle, I returned to the room and brought out 3 boxes. Just as Genki said, I had already prepared their gifts: an aquarium, annual pass for Sapphire. I thought that would be for Yogurt, but apparently Yogurt gets different flavors of yogurt for Yogurt. An adventure novel for Genki's. Here you go. Happy Star's Day. Arigato, Bunzeki. Yogurt and Sapphire grabbed their gifts while Genki's accepted hers only after offering a proper bow. We'll be receiving guests later. Yeah, we're expecting a lot of people today. You require my assistance? No, that's alright. Just have a look around and enjoy this holiday. Wakarimashita. In that case, I should keep an eye on Yogurt and Sapphire and make sure they stay out of trouble. Well, as always, I'll call on you for that. As soon as she looked, Genki's was like the older sister among 3. If Sapphire ever grows to be that composed, I'd be truly at ease. Look at Sapphire, who had already torn open her gift and was bouncing around for her aquarium pass. It couldn't help but quietly make a wish. Before I go, I should tell you we planned a gift for you too. You did? What is it? Genki shook her head. It's still in progress. We need at least a few more weeks. Sapphire proposed the idea, so the preparations were somewhat rushed. Hearing her name, Sapphire practically sprang over. It's okay, you just have to wait excitedly for a little while. I'm not sure about the excited part, but I'm already very touched that you thought of me. I gently patted Sapphire's head. Alright, I've got to greet other guests now. See you tonight at Bunsekin. Okay, who do you have? Maybe like Tao or Caroline, maybe like the other department heads or something. Leaving the trio behind, I made my way quickly to the hall. Just for the Star's Day celebration will be arriving soon. Oh wait, they're guests? Maybe like the giraffe head girl? I don't know who else. Since I invited them, I needed to be there to greet them. Who the hell is Kaede? Or, yeah, who the hell is she? So this is Yukusa, it's huge. It's just a small part of it. I'll show you around once the celebration's over. Oh! Kaede and Nozomi are Mia's friends, aren't they? Or like former classmates. Even from afar, I could recognize these familiar voices. When I looked over at the holograms of the girl projected by a drone met my eyes. Never fucking mind. Nozomi is whoever this is. Ohaya Bunsekin. It's been a while, Nozomi, Kaede. The 2 girls eagerly approached me. Nozomi gave Kaede a look and Kaede took the hint, pulling out the gift box from behind her. Yeah, I do not remember her. She looks more like a logistics officer, or like member. Happy Star's Day, Bunsekin. This is from Nozomi and me. Thank you. Happy Star's Day to you both. The box felt heavy and solid in my hands. Mind if I ask what's inside? Yeah, I put in all my recorded albums. They're all autographed. Right, I almost forgot you're a singer. So she's like the Hatsume Miku of this world. Bunsekin, if not a singer, what do you remember me as? I guess, a comedian of sorts. That's so mean! As if to protest, the same lightning blunt my arm before throwing. I gave you some photos. There's still from that movie with you and director Vidya. That's all for you. I'm sure Vidya will love them. Well then, let's not just stand out here. Let's head on inside for a celebration. I prepared gifts for you both as well. Hooray! Watching the chatting sisters stroll away, I was about to turn around when a pair of hands covered my eyes. Alright, see, Lizzie. Da-da-da. If you can't guess it out, if you can't figure it out, I'll have to take... Fucking hell. I'll have to take away your gift from you. Winter-san. Who could this be? With soft hands like this, it must be Lisa. Huh? Why is there another name I've never heard of? I'm just teasing. Lizzie, I saw a shadowy giraffe mask before you got close. Reached back to grab her hands, pretending to put some strength into it. Whoa, I yield! When I turned around, the giraffe girl had her hands on her head, standing next to a box that I saw she was. Mitsukin, there's no way to treat a girl like that. Halt us all the way from the Acropolis and you're teasing me. You carried that here all by yourself. Yep. She casually nodded, then lifted the enormous gift box, please. Here you go. The familiar absurdity of it all made me want to tease her again, yet I still accepted her gift. I made hand gestures again. It was even heavier than expected. Not that it was a problem for me, but how had Lizzie managed to lift it? Don't tell me it's exactly that. Before I could finish, Lizzie tore the box open, revealing the surprise inside. No! Self-improving detective bot. I mean, vending machine pro max activated. Greetings, Mr. Adjutant. What would you like to drink today? We currently offer 15. Shut down. I gave the command flatly, expressionless. Don't worry, Adjutant. Adjutant? What? Don't worry, Adjutant. I rebuilt this vending machine from scratch. There are no weird features this time, and it won't play ads. It just tried to play ads. Just give me the base, please. I already saw 2 vending machines on my way in. What's one more, right? Alright. Thank you, I guess. If only we had our room, because we could put this in our room. Or put it in, like, Fridia's room. Because Fridia did, like, design it and stuff, or partially at least. After bringing Lucy into the venue, I've returned to greet the other guests. Your representatives from logistics and weapon companies, as well as Yakuza's partners in other fields. After exchanging pleasantries and gifts, they all headed off to the conference room for business meetings. Really? On Christmas Day? Working even during the holiday? There really is no rest for these business elites. The business deals are clearly secondary. They flew all the way to Midgard just to get a little FaceTime with you. A friendly sarcastic voice fucking hell. A friendly sarcastic voice interrupted my muttering. Looking out, Mira, in elegant attire, regarded me calmly. Isn't that just her usual outfit? As a famous adjutant of Yakuza, really underestimate your value. I hadn't expected something like this, but it was more exaggerating than I thought. Also, where's Clarina? Shouldn't Clarina be, like, here to pick her up? I answered with a shrug, and Mira didn't respond. Instead, she walked over and pinned something to my chest. Brooch? Glancing down, a gleaming azure brooch met my eyes. Custom made in Sarania, with sapphire from the Eastern Coast of Velocity. It's one of a kind. Even if you don't care for such things, you wear something that represents your status in an event like this. I think what I'm wearing is enough. Lifting my hand to show the rings of my fingers. Here, ever the smooth, Doctor. For judging by all these rings, I trust that you'll take care of... Fucking hell. I trust that you'd take good care of Clarina too, wouldn't you? Of course, you have nothing to worry about. Okay, so we're married to Life and Fanny, at least? Assuming this takes place, like, before... If it takes place before, Reflection of Valor, that we haven't married, Masudo yet, but if it's after, then we've married Masudo. You really are a hard man to read. You will let out a quiet sigh. Oh, and I'm right into Director Tower, that she wants you to drop by when you have a moment. Thank you, I'll head over and I'll head over and out. Patting ways with Mira, I took the elevator to Tao's office. The room was brightly lit and spacious. Tao's office offered a view of the entire city, always a relaxing and comforting sight. Good, you're here. Once her usually cluttered desk was nearly empty, she leaned back in her chair, hands resting on the desk, looking far more relaxed than usual. Happy Starfish Day, Tao? Are you planning to join us? I trust you'll take good care of everything. Tao's eyes are half closed as he's studying the breach on my chest. I'm not adept at this sort of thing. The office and labs would be far better than a banquet. People seldom get to work on roles perfectly suited for them, doing what they love and excel at. You're one of the lucky few. From the moment you became the adjutant, or rather, from the moment you joined this company, you never once let me down. You've declined this company's material rewards and honors, so you would at least accept my gratitude. I'm deeply thankful that you're here. I wish I was the adjutant. How it always appeared unapproachable and very of everyone, but now there is a rare gentleness in her gaze. I have to admit, she truly possesses a unique presence. No need to make a New Year greeting sound so formal. I made you a coffee mug this year. If you're not coming to celebrate, I'll have Caroline bring it here. But he's been rather busy with Caroline. Right, I'll wait until later then. If that's all, I'll get going now. Mate. Hal tossed me a small memory unit. A gift? Uh-huh. Don't tell me it's a secret account full of the cash. No, it's probably something more useful for you. This gives you access to one of our tactical sky skiffs, Stratos 1. That sky skiff has never seen formal deployment, but we've got that service every year. Its systems and supplies are all in proper condition. Next time you leave home for a mission, feel free to put it to use. Why don't you give me a sky skiff all of a sudden? Simply thought you needed. I had time a few days ago to run an on-site performance check. Even if today weren't a summer day, I would have given it to you. Alright, I'll look for a sky skiff. Seems like a good trade to me. Yeah, trading a fucking coffee mug for a jet. Damn. By the time night settled in, I finally managed to slip away from all the socializing, only to be unanimously called onto the stage to deliver the New Year's address. There were plenty of faces I had only just met today, and somewhere along the way I grew more accustomed to saying it in the open, and just in the public. Minasan, it's an honor to spend this holiday together. On behalf of myself and Yuki's Along with Prizes, I offer my sincere gratitude for all of your support throughout the past year. I hope everyone is enjoying today's event and this brief respect from our duties. Let's fucking hell. Sorry. Let us raise our glasses to peace and good tidings in the year ahead. Happy New Year. Happy New Year! With the clinking of glasses, the bell chimed and fireworks blossomed overhead, ushering in a new year. Oh, sorry, their Christmas is like New Year's Eve, basically. News and holidays are inventions of humankind, meant to carve meaning into the ceaseless flow of time. And yet, we need them to give rise to hope, anticipation, urging each of us to keep moving forward. Whatever joys or sorrows the past year held, in this moment, the page had turned. And no matter what obstacles stood ahead, we would eventually reach a brighter tomorrow. Ow. Nice. That I can eat it from all my heart. Fuck. As the guests gradually left, the base felt quiet once again. I knew I still had more appointments to keep. Is it? Okay, no. Walking down the corridor, I took the elevator to the rooftop. But later, I emerged onto the rooftop. In the distance, her girl stood with her back to me, her hands resting on the railing, completely absorbed in the nightscape below. The moonlight gave her slender silhouette a faint glow, setting her apart from the steel forest and the neon lights of the sky. Night of the city. Oh, it's Luna. I mean, are we married to Luna? Because technically she was the first girl we met, even before I went, Hearing my voice, she turned around, her eyes sparkling like stars. Have you been waiting? No, I just got here. I walked over to stand beside her, both of us gazing out at the city in the distance. The gift I prepared for her still needed a little more time, and told her what it was, wanting it to be a surprise. And this celebration turned out wonderfully. It's all thanks to you and Caroline. Everyone enjoyed themselves, and I ended up with quite a lot of gifts. For the great adjutant. Why do I keep saying adjutant today? The fuck? But I know why, because it's Winsec Kin, and the Kin, it's like making me merge some languages into like the third syllable, vowel, whatever. For the great Winsec Kin, the stack of gifts must be 5 stories high, right? When you learn to make jokes. Would it be strange if I did? No, I like it. I've always felt that you were meant to be someone lively. If that's what you prefer, Winsec Kin, I'll learn. It's okay, Luna, just Do what you want to do. What I want is to stay by your side. Out of nowhere, she turned to me and voiced her feelings with simple directness. It flooded my heart when I'm with you is like nothing I've ever felt before. Silvery moonlight illuminated her face, and her hair blew softly in the breeze, carrying the scent of jasmine around me. I wish I stayed, Princekin. I really enjoyed everything today. I mean, weren't you busy the whole day with Caroline? Anyway, before I could answer, something weighted settled into my palm. This is a meteor from the moon. In other words, a piece of balloon. Hope we can stay by your side. No matter. Suddenly, fireworks, the gift I prefer for her, burst across the sky, getting out the rest of her words. Yet, even through the noise, I could feel Luna's heartbeat. Before the light of fireworks reached us, a veil of white steam had already involved both of us. After a long while, I let go of her hand. There's no need for words. She understood and simply nodded. I'm gonna drink some water. Princekin, don't forget to stop by the hall where the gifts are placed. Alright, I will. The hall is already empty, with the only star's tree still glowing with a warm, gentle light. Walked up to it and picked out a small, clean red box from the corner of the gift pile. Untying the ribbon and lifting the lid, the first thing I saw was a neatly folded letter. Beneath it rested a delicate, custom-made terminal. I'd never seen this model before, but I could already guess who it was from. Sure enough, when I unfolded the letter, it was written in familiar, graceful handwriting. At this terminal custom-made by R&D, it's built to function even in the harshest conditions, so in theory, you can reach me anytime with it. Keep it with you if you think it's useful. Have a stylish day, Adjutant. It was clear where I needed to go next. I folded the letter back up and walked toward the elevator. I thought I'd find you here. The dimly lit command room greeted me with its floating holograms and a faint scent of coffee. This is where Caroline spent most of her time. And today was no exception. She was busy catching up on the backlog of work for the past few days. How did you... She froze for a moment before noticing my gift in my hand and smiled. You have to unwrap your gift on Star State, even if you're busy. It's already past midnight, you know. It still counts until sunrise. Walked up to her and handed her the gift. Kono omoiwa. It's the kettle you've always wanted. Not just this one, I placed one in every section of the base, so you always have your own kettle. I distinctly remember Caroline grumbling about not having her own kettle in the base. So you noticed. All this time. I always assume someone like me only comes to mind when I'm needed. Shh. Oh my god. I pressed the finger to her lips, stopping her from finishing a sentence. That's not the only thing I noticed. Well, every bit of your care and concern. Whether it's a kettle or a place you truly belong to, I want to give you all that. What I want to say is, Caroline, you're someone important to me as well. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I felt Caroline's body tremble slightly. She lifted her head, as if not realizing that her eyes had already gone red. Ah, Taku, you always drop lines like this out of nowhere. But it makes me really, really happy. Before the tears could fall, a smile spread across her face. I'll keep doing my best as your intelligence officer, Adjutant. And with that, we got the Star Tree furniture. I wonder if this is like permanently here now that we've gotten it. What did I say? This beautiful Star Tree holds a girl's heartfelt wish to stay by your side. Always. Please tell me that's permanent. I really hope it's permanent. With that, that's all the episodes. Let's make some wishes. See what we get. You know, let's decorate our own Star Tree with, you know, whatever we can. How do we get more wish stars? Is it because whatever? So we have a regular tree, or we can have this be a colored tree. We can put that as a decoration. We can also put the star on. With these ribbons. Ooh, which one do I like more? I feel like this is what they should have used for the decoration because, yeah, the pattern. This one feels more unique. White ornaments or blue ones? Let's go with the blue ones. These flowers. I guess I think I should choose the gifts because the roses are like, kind of clipping into the ornaments. And then we have some plushies or these like houses or flowers. I think houses would be better. On the bottom we can have more tree things, more gifts, or more gifts but like cylindrical. Include the gift boxes. Right? What is this? I'm gonna use this build because I don't know how ready we need to be. I have no idea what this game mode is. I don't know. Do we need to fight the mech thing? Do we need to use the mech? Oh, okay, we need to fight the mech. As you can tell, he has a massive health bar that me using my Nita pulse cannot deal with. So I guess we just have to get the best score we can within the time limit. Why are you rolling? Why are you rolling? Ow. There's like 15 seconds left. That's our record. Let's save. I can probably do a bit better, but you know, not much. You're supposed to use like those weapons. We missed phase 1. This is phase 2. I assume there's a community rewards. And like you can do a few times to help the community get it higher. Right? I'll do it off screen. You need to do it a few more times. I really need to like remember like which ops I should be using, so like I can stop using Need of Hopes. What else? I don't know what that is. I guess we can keep doing the story. File 1. That night at the nearest Yakuza resupply base. We'd rest here for the night and head back to headquarters the following day. The condition had stabilized and both Master and Boo were out of danger after treatment. The river remained under observation while Master had returned to the ward, in the bedside beside mine. I was lying there with my eyes closed when I heard a sudden sound beside me. Still lying down, Master used her hands to push off the wall, quietly nudging her bed closer to me. What are you doing? Lie down. Her hand found mine.
これでいいにゃ。
Relax, our bed's now close enough for our hands to stay linked. Her arm was still wrapped in bandages. I gently held her limp hand and gave one fingertip a slight squeeze. I turned and met her eyes. In the blink of an eye, she rolled onto my bed.
血圧よし。浸透圧よし。心拍数ちょっと上がり気味。
What kind of osmotic pressure are you sensing? Like my intestines? Like what? Like where what kind of osmosis are you sensing? To monitor her out of risk displayed my vital signs, like her speed.
マーシル先生の見立てでは、分析員の容体は適度な運動をしてもいい程度だにゃ。
Then she leaned in and kissed me. Aw. Her lips were cool against mine. It was a tender kiss, tentative, but in love. I watched her as her eyes slowly flooded shut, then gently covered mine with her hand. The bliss of warmth spread between us, as if our souls had entwined together. I opened my eyes. Her pale yellow irises glinted in the dark, like unset amber, shimmering with each breath.
ここ噛んで。
I mean, biting is a love language to some. She lay on her side and drew my head into her arms, pressing me against her chest as she offered up her neck and shoulder. Her skin gave under the pressure, a faint flush rising beneath. With my ear against her throat, I could hear her breathe, like wind rippling across water.
もっと 強く。
She lifted my ankle and bit down harder. She suddenly clutched my head, her body trembling as she stopped holding back. Does it hurt? I brushed my thumb over the twin bite marks on her shoulder. People with congenital analgesia don't feel pain even when injured. But that's no mercy to watch yourself bleed and feel nothing. It tears away something deep inside. It severs the self from the world, a rupture between mind and body, a hollow in the senses, a loneliness that lasts for a lifetime.
好き。この感じがたまらなく好き。やっと分析員と同じようになった。力いっぱい抱きしめて。
I pulled her in close enough to feel our breasts mingle. We rolled, switching positions. She kissed me, one arm sliding around my back.
痛くして。
Yup. I gave her what she wanted, my gaze never leaving her. After being satisfied, she steadied herself against me, her eyes locked on mine, her brow furrowed as she slowly sat.
痛い。
Yet she seemed to savor an unfamiliar sensation, letting it blend with everything she'd ever known. You okay?
うん。痛みってこんな感じなんだね。
Outside, rain whispered through the night beneath a rising crescent moon. The night bloom opened to the rain, fragile and unguarded. She turned her back to me. I reached out, guiding her chin until she faced me again, and kissed her. What the fuck? I wrapped my arms around her, holding her as if I could keep her there forever. It was like pushing through thorns and mire, discovering pain, a feeling long denied her. Her eyes brimmed with tears. The pain soothed her soul, filling the hole inside. stitching the torn edges of her being into something whole. Pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow, feelings long starved, or at least nourished, bring to life. She could cry now, she could laugh. The body had healed, the mind would need more time. Moonlight lingered, a few autumn cicadas sang, and something rustled softly beyond the door. The hostess between us settled into stillness. Mashu, worn out, drifted off to sleep. I took the blanket around her, got changed, and stood quietly outside. I mean, they probably did something. They were probably playing Monopoly, you know? Yeah. Mashu did say only light activity is okay. She didn't say, like, intense activity was okay. Holly was still. The lights in the medical bay were off. Boo-Boo's exam must have finished. Thought I heard something. Boo-Boo? No reply, but when I listened closer, yeah, there it was. The faint rise and fall of someone breathing.
Hi.
But then came the answer from the same direction as the breathing. Why didn't you turn on the lights? Maybe I went into the medical bay. Sitting along the wall, Boo-Boo was crouched against it, her eyes catching the faint light as she looked up at me.
検査を受けてきたよ。体調は大丈夫だって。
We'll head back and rest?
少しの間だけ一緒にいてくれる？
I moved over and crashed beside her. Yoshidai, something in your test results? Why is she pregnant?
それはないけど。
She kept her knees tight as if trying to make herself small enough to disappear.
さっきのを聞いちゃったんだ。
We were playing Monopoly.
わざとじゃないの。検査結果が大丈夫だって報告しようとしたら、その。
Even in the dark, I could see her face was so flush red.
もう、私って何言ってるの？
It seemed to have come to a decision. Then she turned to wrap an arm around my neck. And I shut, kissfully full on the lips. It was all before she caught her breath, then she leaned into me, her face still flushed and warm.
私も分析員としたい。
Everyone wants to play Monopoly with me, it seems.
なんだかずっと気持ちが変で、どうしたらいいかわからなかったの。そしたら分析員とマーシルが知ってるのを見て、こういう時はそうしないと気分が晴れないと気づいたの。
What kind of conclusion did you come to?
ずっと理解できなかったんだ。恥ずかしいことだって。一生に一度の大事なことだって思ってた。でもやっとわかったの。それを愛を交わすって呼ぶのは、それでしか伝わらないものがあるからなのって。
I disagree. Like, if a relationship is based off of that, like, if that action is, like, the thing that expresses the most affection, I don't think that would be a good relationship, to be honest. I just caught mine again. Maybe for her, life had entered a new phase. And that was about me, but also about herself. And this kind of closeness with the man she loved felt like the perfect beginning to a new chapter. I drew into my arms, turning so her back met the wall. She didn't pull away. That kiss was desperate and tender all at once. I laid her down on the treatment bed. She looked up at me, eyes waiting with devotion and longing, but her hand was already reaching for my body.
分析、私、準備できたよ。
I don't think either of us are, like, recovered enough to do that. Like, Monopoly was already a bit much. She looked torn between determination and shyness. Her other hand reached up behind my neck, drawing me closer. The clouds parted, and the hidden pathway opened. Man, what? Those metaphors slash analogies. What the fuck? Is this what reading like a novel for women is like? Our breasts mingled in the quiet space between us. Her eyes still shimmered with all the words she hadn't yet said. Everything unfolded just as she'd hoped, as if her heart had known this moment was coming. She bloomed beneath me like a dew-kissed flower. The pale alabaster skin of her cheeks flushed red, softness with fire entwined.
分析、私、嬉しい。
Iterio? It dawned on me too. When love deepens beyond words, when happiness crests within the soul, the body yearns to bridge the gap, so we let our actions speak. In the intimate rhythm between us, her lips claimed mine again. Clumsy but bold, chin lifted, willows and proud, as if asserting what was hers. Right here, right now, you're finally mine. That's what her kiss declared. You have me, and you should have it all. She gave everything of herself to say it. All that waiting, the quiet pain, all the repression and insecurity she carried. Now's the time to let it out, to face it, to prove it to herself. I opened my eyes and saw a tear slip from hers. This was why I could never bring myself to talk to her about it. I known it for a long time. But knowing it never made it easier. The need for approval is born from not seeing herself. She might know that, but still, only being seen by the one she admires could quiet the ache inside. That was the cruel truth I'd always known, that living up to what Boo longed for would be achingly hard. Heimdall's image in her eyes was a facade forged from past glory. Pure courage, unblemished honor. Even after joining, she still believed in it with all her heart. And now, she had proven it in the only way she knew, through a brave, noble act. Only then did she truly accept that she belonged to Heimdall, that she was worthy of being with me. Instantly pausing my movement, she opened her eyes.
どうしたの？
You've become the person you always wanted to be, Lily. I held her softly, our foreheads touching, our eyes meeting. Recognition in this quiet closeness meant the world for her. Tears welled again and slipped past the corner of her eyes.
ありがとう。分析。
Called me by my name.
ブブ、ずっと待っていたんだ。その言葉を。この日を。
Do people have conversations like that when they're playing Monopoly? I don't know. I've never played Monopoly. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. The next day. The helicopter touched down at Yuki's headquarters. At the far end of the helipad stood a few familiar figures by the entrance of the main building. A blue blur darted toward me and skidded to a stop just inches away. Fitty. She glared at me, eyes shimmering with unshed tears.
あんたね、毎回。
He turned her head away. I tugged at her hand, and at least she gave in, leaned against my chest and hit her face there. Her expression lost to me. Leif and Kaya came over as well. Kaya leaned in, resting a hand on my shoulder before pushing a kiss into my cheek.
私も連れて行けばよかったのに。あなたならなんとかなるのはわかるけど、やっぱりそばにいたかったわ。
How is it on the Eastern Front?
相手が雑魚ばかりで退屈だったわ。
ずいぶん軽々しく言いますね。
Yes, Yao and Cheng-Sing also walked over from nearby.
たったこれだけの人数で、イエロ社と軍占領区の戦線をすべて支えていたというのに。
Otsukare, you handled the lines and redeployments better than anyone while I was away.
ねぎらいの言葉なら、リフとカーシアにかけてあげて。後方支援チームと外勤スタッフたちを率いて、
フワルナ軍主力の攻勢を食い止めたのは彼女たちなのですから。
あと3日くらい戦っても平気よ。
Yeah, I laughed softly, flipping her hair. There, a linchpin in the defense. Life stood quietly beside me. Then Chinsi took my hand, her other hand coming up to my cheek.
あなた。
She paused, the words caught in her throat. Ya moved behind me and rested her head on my shoulder. I turned to her. She just pouted. That wounded look stabbing me with guilt. Tess took my other hand, biting her lower lip, eyes glistening with tears. They closed in around me, 6 pair of eyes, all demanding an explanation. I know, my bad. Come on, let's talk on the way. They stood there, pretending not to hear me. I understood. No quick apology would fix this. Hey, look! I made it back in one piece, didn't I? I know I made it you. I know I made you worry. I won't take risks like that again.
まあ、とにかく。お帰りなさい。
Hissing sighed, shook her head, and walked off first to try to defuse the situation. When she passed the others, she glanced back, hurt still clouding her eyes. I'd known there would be no dodging this. The mission footage had reached headquarters before I did. They'd all seen the choice I made. But deep down, I knew it was in reckless bravado. If I backed off then, every operation that followed would have been a death sentence. For our future, for my girls, for life we've built, I chose to fight. I wasn't questioning my choice, just venting their frustration and hurt. The group headed slowly into the building. Life lingered at the back, then fell to step beside me. She remained quiet. I slipped an arm around her shoulders. She leaned in, resting her head against me. Alright, I'm sorry. She turned and pulled me into a hug.
分かっている。私はただ。
She didn't go on, just tightened her arms around me. I held her, gently running a hand through her hair. In the distance, I saw my operatives all pouring back out of the building entrance. Finally, home sweet home. In Tao's office. Come on, it's over. No need to look so grim. Tao exhaled and gave me a rear look.
もう呆れてしまいました。何度も言ったはずです。今回こそ安全を第一に任務に当たって3人とも無事に帰ってきてくださいと。何を言っても結局あなたは変わりません。彼女たちにあれだけ言われてきたのに何も変わっていないのですから。
Japanese, she said what they say in like the female sense, like what the girls said. Oh, like no, she said no matter what the girl said. Sorry. I only went up there because I knew I could win. And with Rose, how strong Rose had become. If I let her walk away, she'd be a serious threat to everyone, including you.
ユグドラシルの全支部と拠点をあなたを助けてもやぶさかではありません。
Hold on, I have a call. I don't know if this is something I need to take. A lot of calls today, but I don't know if they're supposed to be for me. Anyway, if it meant losing every Yujiso branch in base, I wouldn't hesitate. Not if it meant keeping you alive.
自分が背負っている責任の重さにつ
Oh no,
い
she
て
already...
はあなた自身が一番よく知って
She
い
already
るはずです。
citizens, I forgot. I had to take a call. Civilizations don't involve about struggle and bloodshed. Life never did either. Tal looked away and shook her head.
二人の容体は安定しています。さらに朗報として戦闘の刺激で部部は深覚神経がより強化され、マーシルも無痛症が治りました。それから長症ですが、もう使い物にはならないでしょう。前回の政策で必要なタイタン物質の同位体を全て使い切っているため、再製作がいつになるかは定かじゃありません。あとはあなたについて。 戦闘服があの衝撃を防いでくれなかったら、おそらく今のあなたはもはや。
Well, either way, suit or no suit. The worst variables in a fight, but when two people are so evenly matched, they face each other in the duel to the death, it all comes down to willpower and resolve. That's why neither of us back down between rivals like that. The winner alone has the right to approve or reject what the other stand for. Besides, who says the combat suit isn't part of my calculations?
そういうことにしてあげましょう。
Okay, now I got the email. Why not just email me first? Fucking hell. Okay, I'll look at this email. See if it's important. It probably is important. Let's see, man, okay. It is important, but not too important. I can save it for after the stream. Okay. As for the death knell, the current generation has serious flaws. We'll hold off on rebuilding it until we've worked them out. Maybe think of Masaru if she cherished the death knell and I understood why. I'll have to find a way to make it up to her.
そういえば、話しておくべきことがありました。今すぐ何とかしてもらいたいわけではありませんが、頭の隅に置いておいてください。
I opened her terminal and brought up a report.
ソフィーはまだ死んでいません。
That's how we knew?
それから、マーシルが持ち帰ったデータによると、マーシルと対峙する時のソフィーは、身体能力も、覚醒者のパワー出力も、ヘイムダルの全覚醒者より上回っています。
Greenfire. I was thinking of Sapphire, not Sophie. Maybe she learned something from Meta about, manifestations.
覚醒者をさらに強化できる秘密ですか。外勤小隊は療養センターで彼女の死体を見つけられませんでした。広域爆弾で吹き飛ばされたか、エッタに助けられて逃げたのかは分かりません。エッタがいる限り、彼女の情報を得るのは難しいでしょう。
As soon as anything comes up.
帰ってきてすぐ出撃するつもりですか？隊員たちが黙って見送るとでも？分かったことがあったら連絡しますから、おとなしく待っていてください。
Huh? Sorry, I made you worry too. Ta held my gaze for a long moment, then a faint smile touched her lips. The pulse spread across the water. A woman stood aboard her skiff as it glided slowly into the waterborne town. She hummed softly, the boat swaying with each note.
荒波を起こし、水の都を沈めよ。迷える子羊、神の抱擁を拒みたり、英雄の屍、岩にてひしがれて、ああ、終焉よ、終焉。終焉の時、今ぞ来たれり。
I don't know enough about the Lord to know what that meant. But that's all for today. Our goal was to finish Reflection of Valor. We did that. Next time on Server Containment Zone, it'll either be going over like the main story, it could be going for the event rerun, the old event rerun, and then we'll see that story. For that time, I'll also show off like the Garden Mayhem like at the end of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have some emails and calls to make, so yeah, I gotta go. As always, hope you enjoy the stream. Like, subscribe, follow, whatever. Comment down what you think if you do watch this to the end, because let's be honest, I don't get many views. So yeah, until next time, be good, be well, be happy, be safe, be good, be nice. Yep. Enjoy the next 24 hours. I gotta go take a shit too.